Throwback night here at Darlington Raceway. Who's ready for some Nexus Sim Racing on Vidane TV, baby? Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. And speaking of throwbacks, Rowdy Wesley Hogue making his return here to the Vidane TV broadcast booth. Brother, it is good to see you tonight, man. Welcome home.
Welcome to Vidane TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been forever since I got to do that, Paul. It is great being up here in the booth with you. It's definitely been a minute, but some things never change, including your snack stash. Good to be here with you in Darlington, and let's watch some racing here with the Nexus Motor City Legends here at Darlington.
Yeah, these guys put one heck of a show on here a few weeks back. We covered their clash. This kind of an instant replay, kind of an instant classic there, the Daytona Clash. A lot of fun, great racing all the way throughout. And do have to apologize right off the rip. Having some troubles here with the Trading Paints app. Gonna have to get at my buddy Steve there on the old Twitter later on. But for some reason, we aren't getting the paint schemes, and I do apologize. We're gonna have to get that sorted out for the next race here on Vidane TV in the next 2 weeks. Off here on Vidane TV, but these drivers still going to be racing. But let's take a quick peek here. Lights are already off in the iRacing pace truck. We're getting ready to go green, but how about that front row, the 02 of Rob Collier, and how about a familiar number, the 94 of Nicholas Pressey, going to start in P2.
It's good to see somebody in the 94 can put that thing on the front row as Derek Miller starting P3 in that 48, and Terry Freer as a green flag comes out starting fourth. And here we go here at Darlington.
One of the cool things about it here in iRacing, just like in real life, the starter is going to start the race when he gets the green flag. He goes when he feels like he goes. A little bit of a late start there, making everybody wait for it, including us here in the broadcast booth. But there they go, getting up on through the gears, coming out of turn 2 already. And you can see single file racing here, 15 drivers strong. And these drivers going to try and come home, trying to tackle 147 laps here at Darlington.
For those that may have never raced Darlington on the iRacing server, it is as tough as it is in real life. This track will just eat you up and spit you out on the exits of the corners, middle of the corners. The lady in black is known for giving the old Darlington stripe, and I'm sure tonight we're going to see a couple Darlington stripes put onto her, Paul.
100%. You can see Collier still holding on to the lead there in the 02 car. The 94 right in behind him. Derek Miller, the 48, the 46, and Terry Freer right in the top 4, right where they started, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Ryan Hatch in the 56 car, he's moved up one spot into the top 5.
Paul, I got a feeling that in this 147-lap race, you're going to see these guys really find a rhythm, find a groove. Long way to go. This is a track where you race the track more than your competitors, where you just need to get into that groove, Paul, and save your stuff and be there at the end. Further in the back, Stephen Downton in the 9 bounced off the wall coming out of 2, as well as 39 of Tyler Bramble still going straight. But I don't think it's going to matter where you're looking at here in the field, Paul. You're going to see drivers bouncing off that wall, keeping it going. It's just the nature of Darlington.
And you hit it right on the head, Wes. It's one of those things where these drivers are going to be going to school here for about 130, maybe even 125 laps or so, studying the other drivers, studying the track, the tires, 4 sets of tires down on pit road for these drivers, 73% fuel load. So they're not going to be able to fill the tanks all the way up to the brim here at Darlington tonight, but it's going to be able to get 73. Ooh, the 9 up into the wall, sideways. Can he hold on to it? It's the chrome wheels, I'm telling you. A little bit extra horsepower, a little bit of extra grip in them chrome wheels. The 9 car, Stephen Downton, holds on to it for another lap.
Downton already struggling here at Darlington, just a few laps in. That the lady in black's already caught one victim here. Thankfully, he was able to hold on to it, but nonetheless, we stay green up front, though. Not much has changed. Rob Collier in that 02 still leading the way. However, there is a change in the second position. Derek Miller in the 48 has surpassed Pressey to take over that P2 position going into lap 6.
And you can see still single file pretty much all the way through the field here. The Rob Collier machine, the 02 checked out. He's got about 15 car lengths over the second place car of the 48 of Miller. Pressey right in behind him. And Terry Freer still holding on to that 4th position. You can see in that Buick. Car down all the way down on the bottom side. Going to be Tex Lindner trying to get a little grip down there. Feeling it out just a little bit. Made mention going and doing the homework. Doing some studying to see what he can use later on in this race.
This is the time to do that as the tires start to wear in, the rubber starts to build up on the track. You try to find where your car is the most comfortable at, where you feel the most comfortable at. This is a track that typically you're going to see these guys ride that high line, but if you can find something in the middle of the low line that nobody else is doing, it's the way to make up ground. And you may see a little bit of that here in the upcoming laps as the leaders fly into turn 1 and 2. A couple cars again bouncing off the wall. I'm sorry, I completely forgot this track is flipped now. That was 3 and 4. Now they go into 1 and 2. But Collier's looking pretty clean in that 0-2 up front right now, Paul.
Lots of things change and a lot of things stay the same. And one of the things that hasn't changed in a very long time, speaking of throwback, we haven't even mentioned tonight's race sponsor here tonight, Doorstop Nation. How about it? Oh, we got a little bit of a Wrangler machine up in the wall. We do apologize. We don't have the actual paint scheme there for Ryan Hatch, the 56 car. Gathers it back up, though. Big time right side damage to that race car. You can see drifting up the track just a little bit, trying to hold on to it. Looks like he's going to make it happen, but Doorstop Nation, old buddy of mine, Joe, jumping on board, sponsoring the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legends here tonight. Got to check out his website. Lots of wrestling action, racing action, football, all sorts of good stuff. And this is even some prank phony phone calls, so they used to say back in high school. But definitely check him out. Doorstop Nation, longtime sim racing supporter, longtime supporter here with Verdane Racing, Verdane TV, and a good friend of mine. And great to have an old name back under the lights here on Verdane TV, and it's great to have a whole kind of throwback weekend with you and I back in the booth.
Darlington is the place to get that throwback feeling as Ryan Hatch made up position after that little slip-up. He's worked his way back in the top 5, gaining around the 49 of Linder. But yeah, man, this is a track that it just gives you old vibes. If you've never been to this track before, it's in a rural part of Darlington, South Carolina, where there's houses around this track. People basically rent out their yards for people to park at like you're going to an old school dirt track, and it just has that feel to it, that southern feel, that old school feel. So Darlington's a great place. Looks like the 9 of Stephen Downton again, Paul, he's having a little bit of issues getting around the lady in black.
Yeah, it's a tough racetrack, and you can see coming in both sides of the racetrack, different sizes, different shapes, a little bit odd. It's kind of just like the Stafford Speedway back in the day before they paved it when it was a horse racing track. Somebody took one of the stakes and actually moved the turn 3 stake in about 10 feet, so the corners when they paved them are a little bit odd. I don't think that's the same story here at Darlington, but it is something that these drivers are going to have to work all night long, and it's one of those things you made mention earlier on here tonight. Gonna have to get into a rhythm and figure that out. You have to beat the racetrack before you can beat everybody else on track.
And as we saw the 9 of Downton there catching a little bit of looseness coming out of turn 4, giving up another position there. But again, this is one of those things where you just have to race the track as the 45 of Andrew Tenold gets into the wall right in front of him there, into the wall again coming out of 2. But I believe that, Paul, the story of this track was there's, I think this might be the story of Talladega, I'm not too sure, but there was a pond on one of the sides of the corners where they had to kind of egg shape one of the turns in order to get the track in and not disrupt that pond. So that's why I believe that is a Darlington story, why Darlington is shaped the way that it is.
Well, if you take a step way, way back, they all kind of look like donuts.
And there is Paul throwing it back to food. Again, throwback here. But nonetheless, this track is awesome to see in person. It's awesome to have on iRacing. Love the old checkered red and white walls. But nonetheless, Contender up front in that 0-2. He definitely has no problem up front. And as we ride on board with the 48 of Derek Miller in that throwback Lowe's Jimmy Johnson scheme as he makes his way around the track in P2, trying to find some grip somewhere to see if he can get some ground made up on the 0-2 of Collier.
And you can see in behind him the 94 car down a 1 spot from where he started, Nicholas Pressey holding on to it. Car looks relatively clean all the way around. Odd to see in that 94 car. And we say that a couple of times, not because of Nicholas in that car. That's the number I raced back when I used to race, and I was never very good. I'm a much faster talker than I am a driver, so that's why I'm up here in the broadcast booth here tonight. But right in behind him, the 56 car. He's doing a great job so far here tonight. Up 2 spots from really qualified. Been in the top 5 all night long. We've been clean and green here for 15 laps so far at Darlington. 16 laps as Rob Collier gets across the start-finish line. One mo in. getting into that rhythm we talked about a little bit earlier on us.
Yeah, just quick notable, Stephen Downton has made a pit stop already in that 9 machine. He has fallen a couple laps down, 2 laps down at least to be exact right now. So that 9 car just seemed like he didn't have control early in this race. Maybe made a couple of changes here on pit road. These guys do have a couple fast repairs as well. So possibly a little bit of damage was hindering them. Let's get a fresh start still early in the race. You got a chance to get a couple lucky dogs if the yellow flies. So not too big of a concern yet, but if this really starts to go green, it could be.
And as we kind of cycle on through the field here, we made mention single file pretty much throughout the entire field. There's a bit of a gap, 1.5 seconds on back from our leader to second place, 2.5 seconds back. Looks like we might have a little bit of a connection issue up in the top 3 for potentially for the 48 machine of Miller. Looks like he may have actually disappeared, so that is a tough break in the sim racing world. But it's about 7.5 seconds on back to Ryan Hatch in that 56 car. So this is going to be one of those things, Wes, where the drivers are going to get further and further into this run. Only 4 sets of tires down there on pit road. There's a great onboard shot. It's enough for me to say the 94 car kind of showing you that banking coming out of 2, and you can hear him real loose with that throttle getting back into it to make sure the back end of that race car rather sticks to the pavement. And it's going to be something I think we're really going to start seeing these guys do a little bit of tire management, especially a little bit mid-pack and further on back, because they're going to have to make those 4 sets of tires last.
Paul, we got a battle for the 4th position between the 98 of Matthew Stephen, who's currently 5th, and Terry Freer in that 46. Freer has it, and Freer has it, and Stephen wants it. I'm sorry there. I was watching the 24 as well, getting this battle of Justin Poole. Now a 3-car battle for that now 3rd position. It was before the 5th position, however, with that 48 disconnecting, and it's showing that Derek Miller did disconnect, not willingly. He lost connection, so pretty downside. Oh, Hatch in the 56, hard into the inside wall, Paul. Hatch having issues in the 56 car.
Still green flag racing. He's down on the inside. That was safe for Barry. You could hear that car, though. Something is baroque in that 56.
Caution
machine.
Is out.
Caution flag is right. Well, there's what's broken. The left front wheel is actually broken and missing from that. So we're going to get the cleanup crew on that, see if they can find out what the heck happened there. And we're going to do the very same thing. Going to take a look at our U-House.
Paul, not to cut you off, but if you go all the way back to, it looks like turn 4 of the previous lap, he just loses his left front tire. He just loses his left front tire.
I'm going to back it up on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. You can see, we're going to back this way up. A little bit of contacts. We kind of see what went
Keep on
down
going
here.
back if you can, Paul. I'll go back go back even further. It looked like he lost a tire. It may have been just like an iRacing glitch. All right, that's far enough. On my screen, it showed him losing a tire. It may have been an iRacing glitch. It may just because he knocked the crap out of the side of that car enough where iRacing thought he did. But he did radio in, Paul. We did hear Hatch radio in and say he lost his brakes. And that's why he pancaked that wall. He was having brake issues, and that is also why he hits the inside wall, which you're probably going to see here on the stream. You're going to see him come up, slap that wall on the outside here in a second. I believe it's going to be in the next corner. He just didn't have the brakes, and right about here, right about there, comes down, hits that inside wall. Just no brakes for that 56 machine.
And you can see the sparks flying from underneath that thing, trying to hold on to it, trying to hold down on the apron, stay out of the racing groove. But it was a good call from race officials. You can see he gets back up
Paul,
in the racing groove.
If you go live, Paul, with him, he is struggling hardcore to get into his pit stall. He is stuck up against the wall. He is too far over to the left for sure to change those left sides. He just spent a good 30 seconds trying to get into his stall. So big issues with the 56.
Yeah, tough break. You can see the right side up, the left side up. Looks like he may have gotten a quick repair. So still on the lead lap, I believe. A little bit of scraping action there going down with that 56 car. But looks like all said and done, looks like was able to do all that without losing a lap. We'll have to double check on that. But you can see all the leaders coming down pit road here as well. And it's going to be interesting to see. I got a feeling at this point, 22 laps in, do you take tires or do you just come down and get fuel?
Man, it depends what game you're playing here. If you think this is going to continue to go green, I think you take tires. If you're expecting another caution to come out quickly, I think you stay out. But tires are a big thing here in Darlington, Paul. If you don't take tires, everybody else does. Expect to go to the back really quickly, unless you're betting on another caution coming out soon.
And you can see a couple of drivers taking tires, a couple of drivers going to top off the fuel tanks with Sunoco Racing fuel. And want to make mention again, want to apologize to everybody out there. These drivers are all running custom paint schemes here. You can do that with the iRacing world. And we're having a little bit of issue here at Verdane TV HQ with the Trading Paints app. That's the app that basically downloads all of the custom paint schemes. And for some reason, it just doesn't want to work for me. I'm not entirely sure why. So I'm going to get on the old Twitter machine here later on after the race and see if I can't dial up my old buddy Steve and see if we can figure out what all's going on. Maybe even with the iRacing community. Anybody out there? We are live and interactive here at Verdane TV. We are live on the Verdane TV Facebook page. We are live on the Verdane TV YouTube page, and we are live over on my personal Twitch, Strictly94. Give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share, all that good stuff. And hey, fall's coming, winter's coming, it's getting cold outside. Get yourself a Verdane TV hooded sweatshirt over at Verdane.net. These things are super comfy, and you got to let everybody know that you're entertained by us here at Verdane TV.
All right, Paul, so I got to ask, it's been a while. So I got to get caught up with you, Paul. I got to get the people caught up with Paul Strickland Jr. as well. What is the snack of choice tonight for you, Paul?
The snack of choice, well, everybody out there that follows Verdane TV and follows me knows that I've got the air fryer about 5 feet from the computer desk here. Looks like we're doing some single file restarts. Lights are off in the iRacing pace truck. We had some chicken sandwiches, a little bit of hot sauce, some pepper jack cheese on top, and a couple of pickles, a little spicy pickle action on top.
My cholesterol just laughed at yours.
Yeah, my cholesterol's like quadruple digits. I don't know if that's good or not, but like we're not exactly a picture of health. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
All right, the restart is on the leader, so we're going to wait for that number 45 of Andrew Tenold to fire, and he fires off. We are back green here at Darlington Raceway, and it's interesting, Paul, seeing some drivers pit, some didn't. The 0-2 of Rob Collier did pit. He dominated the first portion of this race. Now he's back in ninth position. Be interesting to see if he can work his way back into this field.
And we may mention the 56 car involved in that last caution flag, or the very first caution flag here on lap number 22. Ryan Hatch is indeed one lap down, it looks like. So the 56 car uphill battle here tonight. 10 cars on the lead lap here at Darlington, and a good long green flag run to get this thing kicked off. 24 car giving that outside wall just a little bit of a kiss, but he's going to hold on to it, and it looks like he's going to get under attack, try and get all over the back bumper there, the 45 car.
Justin Poole's looking really quick on these beginning laps of this the second stint here after that caution. He's really pushing it here, Paul. Maybe a little bit too much. We get a long green flag run here. You really don't want to wear out those tires. And he wants that position. He shows it. Caution. Oh, there's contact. In the corner, they both save it. Caution comes out. The 24 of Justin Poole gets into the rear of the 87 of Robert Gass. Both save it. Heck of a save by both drivers. That will bring out the caution. I'm sorry, Paul. I called out the wrong car. That was Andrew Tenold that got the bumper from a Poole in the 24. Both synchronized spun down into what would be the apron of turn 4 and did not hit anything, thankfully. Justin Poole apologizing over the radio.
And that's one of the cool things to see here in the iRacing world. We're going to take a look here at the U-House Race Designs instant replay. And got to give a shout out to Kyle Young out there watching in the world. Big wreck! 2 cars involved. No contact. But
almost.
There you can see almost a little bit of contact there. Some synchronized, and not even spinning. A little drifty drift action, a little Tokyo drift here in Darlington. Both drivers saved it. Heads up driving by both of these guys. Yellow flag flies for the second time here tonight at Darlington.
Just riding it out here. It sounds like the 56 may have had some issues as well here, Paul. Sounds like he was under braking and ran through So I'm going to look back and see if something may have happened with the 56. While we do so here, Paul, I'll keep you updated. Actually, yes. As that was happening behind them, he braked. The 02 ran through the 56. 02 got pounded by the 49 after this caution came out, Paul. That's going to be where the replay is going to be. The guy that dominated the first portion of this race has been caught up in an incident. That 02 a Collier, man, that's going to be one to watch.
We saw Collier lead a bunch of laps here early on in this one, and big time damage. He did come down pit road and use that quick repair, so he indeed does have a repaired car ready to rock and roll once again. And it's one of those deals where it comes out here in iRacing world, you get a wreck, and then there's something else that goes down on the racetrack as well. Going to focus in on the 02 and on the 56 here. A little close quarter combat. The 02 goes right down to that dotted line. 56 checks up a bit. And there you can see a little bump. Oh, big bump.
Arca!
49. Oh, my goodness.
Holy Arca.
In his Arca breaks with the 49 into the back of the 02. And that's where the damage came from that Collier machine. So another driver with an uphill battle here through the rest of this one. Little bit of time to go in this one. So not the worst case scenario, but definitely going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, man. It just shows as well how here on iRacing, even in real life, how quick your race can change. The 02 Collier, he went from basically dominating the race, no fear factor whatsoever for him in cruise control, now mired back in the back, and now not checking up in time and getting into the back of the 56, and then the 49 getting in the back of him. So what seemed like just a stroll in the park for him has now become an uphill battle.
And again, want to apologize to the viewers out there. Some of the drivers tuning in as well, live and interactive here on Verdane TV, the Facebook page, the YouTube page, over on Twitch as well. Struggling with the Trading Paints app for some reason, not downloading the iRacing paint schemes. All these drivers running custom paint schemes. I've even seen them. I've seen pictures of them. I've seen the actual files of them as well. But for some reason, every time I try and refresh, it doesn't seem to work. So we may mention...
I think Trading Paints tonight is being ran by the Democratic Party, so if it's not working, that would be why.
The political views of Rowdy Wesley Hogue do not quite reflect those political... whatever. You guys get the idea. Tried my best. No, but we are having some issues with the Trading Paints app. We will get those paint schemes sorted out for the next time we're live with the NEXUS Sim Racing here in 2 weeks' time, live on Verdane TV. These drivers are racing next week, but I will not be around. I'm actually going to see Rammstein in concert at the Giants Stadium in Foxborough next Friday, so I'm excited for that. Anybody out there, look for the big fat guy with a bright red beard. You'll see me.
Is it Ramstein?
No, it's Rammstein. But in any sense. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Pace Truck is down here at Darlington. We like to have fun here at Verdane TV. We like to have fun. Pace Truck is down. Let's do this one more time. Cautions have breeding cautions. Let's see if we can get a green flag running. As this restart is brought to you by Nicholas Pressey in that 94 Kodak machine. As he takes out the green, goes into 1 and 2. Kodak on my screen, but not yours. You'll get the picture with the color of the car. With P2 now being Matthew Steven as they come out of 2.
Get the picture of the Kodak car. See, that's why you're good at what you do. That's long-term storytelling. I like that. But the 94 doing a great job. You can see Steven right in behind him. Matthew Steven in the 98 car, up 6 spots from where he started from. The 87, Robert Gass, Justin Poole, and Tyler Bramble rounding out the top 5. All top 5 drivers moving up quite a bit, and you gotta wonder if that's got to do with the pit road action that we saw there. Outside the top 10, Terry Freer, Rob Collier in that 02 car back in 7th. Andrew Tenold in the 8th position. Tex Linder in the 49 car is in 9th. And DJ Lemon rounding out the top 10. The top 10 cars on the lead lap. That's going to be the number 14 car for DL Lemon.
Getting a little spicy for that 5th position, Paul, as Terry Freer in that 46 is right up on the bumper of the 39 of Tyler Bramble. Seems like he's a little bit quicker. But right on the tail of the 46 is at 0-2 of Rob Collier. So I hate the phrase because everybody uses it, but you got 3 pigs under a blanket. But the 0-2 slips up out of turn 2. The 45 now making the move of Tanold. A little bit of a kiss to the 0-2 side, able to get around him. Oh, we got a little okie dokes, and we're 2x2 here coming out of 4. Oh, there's contact! Big wreck! 45, 39, 46, 3 cars involved. I don't want to hear it, Kyle.
Oh, absolutely. Caution flag flies here on lap number 34. Big time racing, a little side-by-side action here at Darlington. And this is one of those things, Wes, these drivers are trying to feel each other out. They're trying to study each other and see how they're going to react later on in the run. I don't know how to drive fast, but there's a little bit of psychology that I kind of understand in behind. There you see 39 car up on the outside wall just a little bit, gathers it back up, but you can see both drivers kind of use a little bit of a wonky line to kind of avoid each other, and then they just find each other on track. 56 car does a great job getting everything woed up and getting on through that one for sure. That's Ryan Hatch in the 56 car. But caution flag flies once again here at Darlington, and it's going to give these guys another opportunity potentially come down pit road, maybe get more tires, maybe get some more fuel, or do you stay out on track and try and save your tires for later on?
It seems like cautions are breeding. Cautions are a lot like low-income households. All they do is breed. And that's exactly what these cautions are doing. One is breeding after another. These guys are starting to get antsy. They're wanting to go. They got fresh tires. They want to pick up positions, and then we see what we see there. We had 2x2 coming out of 4, and then down the front stretch. Yep, and they were all wrecking.
Couple of drivers coming down pit road. The 45 of Andrew Tenold, Terry Freer down there as well. Tyler Bramble and Tex Lindner on a pit road as well. Some damage there you see on the 45. The 46 looks like he's seen the outside safer barrier here at Darlington. Going to get the virtual hammers and try and beat on some of that virtual sheet metal. There you can see Tyler Bramble in the 39 car coming to the attention of his crew as well. Still the 94 car up in front, and you can see on that outside groove of the racetrack a little bit of rubber buildup, and that's going to be big because you can see as we get up to the corners here, those rubber balls are basically rubber coming off of these tires here. And you say, well, this is iRacing. This is a game, right? It happens, and it matters. You can see lots of buildup up there. You'll listen to these drivers, some commentators as well, talk about marbles. These drivers will get up on the outside, get up to where, outside the racing groove just a little bit, hit that rubber buildup, and it upsets the car, loosens it up just a little bit, gives these drivers one more thing that they're going to have to overcome throughout the 147 laps in this one.
All right, so we've seen some fresh faces up front. We saw the 0-2 of Collier basically dominate into the first caution. And then we saw the 45 of Tenold up there for a little bit and then fall back a little bit. And then, we got Pressy up front here. It seems like that's the place to be, Paul. If you can get out in that clean air, as cliche it is, that's the best place to be is in clean air. But it seems like it truly is. It seems like these cars are handling the best when they're in that clean air. And they're able to just pull away little by little. It hasn't mattered who the leader has been. They've been in pretty good shape as long as they're out front.
Still a couple of drivers down on pit road. The 9 car, Stephen Downton, going to be down there as well. Multiple laps down, it looks like, but still going to try and come out. And you have a little bit of a point stay here. You see left sides going up on the number 9 machine, 56, getting some damage as well. Getting some right sides as well, getting some tires put on that machine, and looking like 10 drivers now going to be on the lead lap when we take the green flag here. And still a little bit of time. You can see the iRacing pace truck still has the lights on top of that truck, because that's what it is. It's an iRacing pace truck. And you asked me what's going on with me earlier on here tonight. What's going on with you, man? It's been over a year since you and I have been inside the broadcast booth together. What's going on in the world of Rowdy Wesley Hogue?
Well, there's no child support owed yet, so if we're starting off with the positives, that's a good thing. I haven't duplicated, so that's a positive. But, man, been out here just working like crazy. A little bit of the pro wrestling world. Y'all go follow Cole Bohannon38 on Twitter and buy his merchandise, thank you. Just working hard, man. We started up together Vidane TV during the the pandemic, and man, did we have some fun for that pandemic time. Into 2021, we had some awesome times, but work picked up and just been working. So I am absolutely honored that you called me up, said, "Hey, I need somebody in the booth. Would you come sit with me?" And I said, "Absolutely, that's sure. Just bring a fan because your farts stink." And here we are again, calling some fun action.
100%. And man, it's been a wild ride for the past 2 years here at Vidane TV. And you might notice here tonight a little bit of a crispier picture, a little upgrade, a little hardware upgrade here in the Vidane TV HQ, rocking a 3060 Ti graphics card, and that's courtesy
Those generic paint jobs
right
look
here.
great, Paul.
Yeah, well, you know, but the fans, it's about the fans. The fans look awesome in the back. Can you see them? They look great. But in any sense, iRacing Pace Truck, he's going down for a corn dog and a Coke. Barney in the flag stand is waving that green flag, and the 94 gets the whole shot going into turn number 1. He's already got a half a second lead over that 98 car, Steven.
He definitely got the whole shot there. I'm going to have to try that one there, bud. Something about a corn dog and an 8-ball. But nonetheless, the top two have pulled away already from the rest of the field with no problem whatsoever. It is really key to get that restart, be able to up front. However, Pressey is already under fire from the 98 of Steven. If you ask me, Paul, Steven has the faster car here just coming out of turn 4 on these restarts. He definitely has the advantage.
If you wanted an onboard shot with the 98, all you had to do was ask, because we can do that. And there you can see all over now the back bumper of that 94 car. And you can see really listen to that throttle, doing an awesome job coming out of the corners to really feather the throttle and not upset the back of this race car, letting off super early and letting that car coast on in, drift up just a little bit, study where the 94 car is going to be. This is what we're talking about when we say these drivers are going to school, doing their homework. He's trying to see where Pressey is strong, where he's weak, where he can pass him, and that right there looks like a door. Might be able to use that for later because the 94 likes to drift up a little bit, kind of kiss that outside line. It seems like Matthew Steven in the 98 here, rocking the P2 position, likes to use those dotted white lines down on the bottom side of the racetrack.
White lines, yes. And you see here out of turn 3 and 4, Pressey still has that advantage. Barely, though. I'm just watching their times. They're almost masking each other when it comes to times here. It was Steven running just 2/10 behind him. Their lap times are very, very close, as he just ran a 32.299 compared to a 182 from Pressey. And that is a blink of an eye. Complete blink of an eye, and it just shows how close these guys are running. It now battle for third isn't much of the battle, as further back the 87 Aghast is getting passed by the 24 Justin Poole, who wants to get back up front at the 87. Gives a little bit of that Darlington stripe there in 3 and 4.
And you'll see that all the way throughout the field here. Drivers getting up, trying to move up the racetrack, trying to get all they can, all the grip that they possibly can, maybe get a little
Caution's out.
advantage. Caution flag flies.
49, Paul, 49. 49, close to 14, sort of. It looks like he came out of down the straightaway of backstretch, got into it with the 48, and ate the inside wall. The 49, a Tex Linder, who we saw up front earlier, has completely demolished his car. The 14, a DJ of Lemon involved, and barely missing it, Paul, was the 56 of Hatch. That would probably be a pretty cool in-car to watch.
Yeah, you can see the 56 car down on the apron, causing a little bit of a ruckus. 48, big-time save, gathers it back up, though. You can see now side by side with the 48, little bit of contact, going for the same piece of real estate, and then the 49 car, big hit on that inside, slaps the outside wall, wheel comes off, front bumper comes off, a couple of other drivers involved, and we'll back that up one more time. What was that in-car we were looking for?
56. Let's watch the 56 of Hatch. He even said just over the radio he's going to need a new pair of underwear after this race because he's having some near misses, as we're going to see here coming down the backstretch.
You see, coming off pit road here, it looks like there's the contact we saw between the 48 and the 49 car. They both go low, then they come up high. There's the 48 car. Oh, my goodness, there's his bumper. There's the 14 car. Oh, my goodness. Holds onto it. He hits the cone. Oh, God, he hit the cone. But the great heads-up driving there for the 56 car. Ryan Hatch involved in an earlier incident, but a little bit of war of attrition in that camp, and it looks like he's going to try and make this a battle throughout the rest of the night as he's going to try and get himself back on the lead lap and see if he can make himself a contender here in this one.
We are only on lap 45 of 147. We still have over 100 laps to go, so anything can still happen here, Paul. Ryan Hatch, we saw earlier, is pretty strong. That car is it's pretty hooked up. He's had a little bit of unfortunate event earlier that's put him back here in the field, but I can see him getting back up there as long as he can keep that car in one piece and keep himself on the lead lap and make a real strong push for it. But again, we need to keep our eye on that 0-2 of Rob Collier as well as Justin Poole in that 24. From watching this field here, those two drivers have been probably the most aggressive of working their way through the field. So I'm excited to see how they're going to handle these top two cars.
You can see everybody gathered back up behind, easy enough for me to say, the iRacing Pace truck, and everybody seems like they're electing to stay out on this one, and we may have a little bit of time here before we get back to green. So let's see if we can maybe talk up, maybe dial in here. The biggest mover of the race, up 10 spots from where he qualified, currently running P3, Justin Poole in that 24 car. Paul Strickland up in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man, but not as good as you. Moving your way on through this field here. Tricky racetrack. Cars seem to be sticking pretty well. How's that 24 car handling?
Not too bad. Definitely not my favorite track of the season. So we're just hanging on. We seem to be moving through the pack pretty well though.
100% up 10 spots from where we gained in here at this point, and looking pretty strong here throughout this one. What are you looking for throughout the rest of the race here? Long green flag runs, pit strategy. What's going on in the 24 camp?
I'm looking for a good finish. Anything in between doesn't really matter to me.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. We'll get you back down with the team here. Hopefully we'll talk to you after the race for the podium finish.
Well, thank you very much.
Going to be Justin Poole in that 24 car. 10 spots gained here on the night and running in that third position. And you can see the lights are still on in the iRacing Pace truck. So we got one more lap here, Wes. And been an action-packed night here so far. Single file restarts, but it gives these drivers the opportunity to really race the racetrack, get things set up. And I think we're in for one heck of a shootout here later on.
We spoke about it earlier, racing the racetrack, and for those that may not get that, you really just have to focus on hitting your lines and not hitting the wall. That's the big thing, and then at the same time, navigate through the traffic that is around you, and that comes first before having to battle for positions. But it's a balancing act, is what you end up doing, racing the cars with you and this track, and you've seen this track already bite a couple guys, hitting the walls without any assistance, and then we just saw a little bit of contact on going straight down the straightaway. Darlington is a lot more narrower than what it may look. It may look like it's 5 or 6 lanes, but there's really only about 2 racing lanes, if that. So it's all about attrition, as you said, and mental stability. It will take a mental toll on you here. If you lose any kind of concentration, you'll find yourself in the fence real quick.
And that's the same thing with me. I'm a lot slimmer than what I look, and I'm definitely mentally stable. It's not racing Pace truck. Gonna go down for another corn dog and a Coke. We're gonna wait for Barney in the flag stand. Don't wave that green flag, green rag. One Mogan in the 94 doing everything he needs to. Pressy with another fantastic restart. This time, 7/10 of a second of gap between he and that 98 car of Steven, heading on down in it to turn number 1.
The 87 of Robert Gast in position 5 did not have as much of a restart. It held up to the rest of the crew, allowing that first to 4 to be able to pull away by over a second here coming down to the backstretch into 3. You got Gast further back, and then you got Andrew Tenold. We saw him leading earlier in 6th, followed up by Bramble in 7th, Lemon in 8th, Hatch in 9th, and then Freer rounding out your top 10.
And you can see this is the product of the single file restarts here that the NEXUS Sim Racing allowing these drivers to do here tonight. Really gets these guys the opportunity to kind of set up this track. It's a little bit wonky on both sides. It's a tricky racetrack all the way around. Lots of different grooves, lots of different racing lines. You can see the 98 car of Steven really closing up the gap in a big kind of way on Pressy, all over the back bumper now of the 94 car as they come out of turn number 4. Battle for the lead. It's heating up, as is the battle for third. Rob Collier, Justin Poole battling it out there for that P3 position as well. These drivers want to come up here and talk to us for the podium post-race interviews here on Vidane TV. I bet you that's why they're racing so hard, Russ.
Collier made a slick move in 3 and 4 to get around pole for that third position. Nice clean move on the bottom, which is hard to do here. And he did a wonderful job doing so in that 0-2. Again, we saw him do a wonderful job leading this race earlier, and then got caught back up in traffic after a pit stop, and then caught up in a couple incidents. So that 0-2 of Collier with a statement to make here that he wants to be the fastest guy and prove it, as now we see all the top 4 basically within a second of each other.
And you can see all the different lines from these top 4s. Got to give a shout out to TrackCams22.com, iRacing NASCAR style cameras that you can get downloaded for the iRacing app. Beautiful pictures throughout all of our races here on Verdane TV. There's a great shot of the top 4 drivers. Pigs in a blanket you made earlier on. I think a pig in a blanket's a corn dog, isn't it?
And an 8-ball, brother. You know what? When you think of a pig in a blanket, can you just picture that? Just picture a pig in a blanket. Oh, caution! Wreck in the back. The 48 and the 45 get together. Derek Miller, multiple laps down after disconnecting earlier, gets into it with the 45, who is not happy. Andrew Tenold shows his displeasure as well. As we're talking about pigs in blankets, the 45 just washes up. The 48 washes up into the 45 and just seems like he just would not stop hitting them until he finishes them off, Paul.
Yeah, we're going to pull this up on the old iRacing U-House Race Design Instant Replay. Got to check out all the button boxes that those guys put out. And lots of custom logos and stuff, too. U-House Race Designs, and jumping on board here for another season of Verdane TV. There you can see the big wiggle into the outside wall, and 48 car tries to thread the needle, maybe takes a peek there on the inside. There's the contact heading into the corner, and that's tough. You hit the quarter panel, you hit the quarter panel again. We'll hit the front quarter panel, and now we're going to go up into the outside safer barrier. We're going to throw a tire down into the racing groove. We don't need that sheet metal. We'll throw that down in the apron as well. But that is a tough break. That's a hard hit here at Darlington for that 48 car.
It is, and I'm pretty ticked off of Andrew Tenold, because you think that 48 machine is multiple laps down, 23 to be exact. So you're wondering, why is he racing me this hard when he has absolutely zero chance of winning this race? And Tenold being on the lead lap when that happened. So him showing a little bit of displeasure there, and honestly a way that wasn't out of line, if you ask me. He didn't hit him or anything. He kind of slowed up next to his door and let him know, hey, I'm not happy with you. So I would be pretty ticked off as well. These hits at Darlington are not soft. There might be safer barriers here, but these cars hit hard. As you've seen most of these incidents, you're losing, body panels and wheels. It's you hit something here, you're going to need that fast repair.
Handful of drivers down on pit road. About half, maybe a little bit better than half of the lead lap drivers. You see Tyler Bramble getting tires on the 39 car. Matthew Stephen, Rob Collier, Terry Freer, and Robert Gass joining him down on pit road to get some virtual service done to these race cars. And you can see a lot of these guys slapping some tires on here at lap 54. This is going to be interesting because we've had a couple of different pit stops here on the 5th caution flag here and in 54 laps. So couple of drivers kind of changing it up just a little bit. Looks like DJ Lemon going to come down in pit road here from the top 5. And Nicholas Pesci, Ryan Hatch, Andrew Tenold, they're going to be the top 3 drivers. They're going to be staying out on track. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. Verdane TV's coverage of the NEXUS Sim Racing League here tonight, making their debut here with the Motor City Legends. Just kidding, not their debut. Their live debut. Hey, there's Wes. Got everything sorted out over there. Live and interactive here tonight on Verdane TV. We're on the Facebook page. We're on the YouTube page. We're over on Twitch as well. Shout out to Mr. Altuna773 over on Twitch. We wish you guys were calling our league. We wish you were calling your league too. Slide in our DMs. Hit us up. We are booking shows throughout the winter and the fall months here coming up on Verdane TV. Our calendar is not wide open. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up here. NEXUS Sim Racing coming at you with a 6-pack of Friday night shows. Tim's Corner Motorsports going to have a lot of racing throughout the winter months up in the Atlantic Canada area. The iRacing, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Group Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series coming back for season number 4. We're going to see if John Peters can defend that 3-time series championship. 3 seasons, 1 champion. 3 times John Peters. Phenomenal what he's been able to do. And they're going to be kicking off here on Verdane TV for season number 4 at Daytona on October 13th, 2 days after my birthday. Going to be one heck of a show. But before we get there, we got to finish up here tonight. Lap number 56, getting the restart here on lap number 57. The iRacing pace truck has shut those wheel-in strobe lights off atop that thing, getting ready to go green. Flag racing once again here to bring us to lap number 57.
Tell you what, Paul, Nicholas Presley, I'm not exactly sure what strategy he is on, but he is loving these cautions. He's been able to get up front with some pit strategy, with maybe some tire strategy. He's been able to hold off some hard chargers that he has up on his bumper. But with that 98 of Matthew Stephen pitting, that allowed Ryan Hatch. He's been kind of the talk of the town this race. He's been around everything that's been going on, and he's also finding himself around the leader, sitting in second place. So let's see, as we see the pace truck head down pit road, the leaders are going to circle out of turn 4 here, waiting for that leader to fire as he enters the Geico restart zone, and he fires off, and green flag back here at Darlington. Nice hole shot here by Nicholas Pressey, already with a nice sizable lead, about a half second on the 56 of Hatch going into 1 and 2.
And that Clean Air doing exactly what it needs to on that 94 car. 34 laps since he's been down on pit road to get tires on that machine, and he's doing everything he can to conserve.
Oh! I'm sorry, the 45 just got the bumper from the 24 big time coming out of 2. He slapped the wall hard. He saved it, Paul. I'm sorry I pulled a Dale Jr. on you screaming for no reason. But I don't know how he saved that, Paul. If you could get a replay of once this thing goes green for a little bit. That 45 now, Tenold, is off the pace from that damage, unfortunately. But boy, did he get 4th and 10. He got punted and was able to save it.
And you can see it looks like he's able to gather his thoughts. Slides just outside. That's, out in the outside wall again. That's one of those things, Wes, you hit that wall once, you hit it a second time, you try and gather, you clear the cobweb, and there's the wall again. That is tough. A tough break for Tenold in the 45 car. Trying to hold on to it, trying to get focused, trying to get everything he needs to get. And oh, by the way, now he's got the 48 car right in his rearview mirror. That's going to be Derek Miller. Multiple laps down, but he wants to get a little bit further up on the racing action. Wants to see if he can maybe get around that 45 car and try and get a lap back to Hardwood.
If you think Tenold is the one that got into it with the 45 last time, let's see how this goes. That 45's right side is severely damaged, but yeah, I can tell you, he's not going to just let that 38 go without trying to hold him up at least a little bit, even though it's kind of a meaningless pass that you've seen there. I'm sure there's still a little bit of bad blood, but Tenold just not having the race that he planned for, Paul. If we can shoot it back a couple laps here, see if we can get a quick replay for them, if possible, of what happened in the 45.
You can see really slowing down in that 45 car, hoping for a caution here within the next couple of laps. You can see it hitting the outside wall once again. Not exactly what he wants to do, but we'll see if we can back that up here on a quick U-House Race Designs instant replay. The 48 car gets by the 45, no problem. And you can see we're just backing up the old tapes here. I believe I found it here. We'll see if we can take a little look-see here. Racing hard with the 24 car and just really pancakes that outside wall. Oh, big. That wasn't even a pancake. That was almost a 45-degree turn.
You can see why I reacted the way I did. I was surprised he didn't just turn that.
He wrecked that car. He just didn't know it. There you can see it, the 45 car. Big-time contact. Fantastic recovery. Still 5.5 seconds off the lead. Big-time damage. Oh, looks like a little side-by-side contact with he and the 46 car. 46 thinks better of it. He's going to check up just a little bit. Go down below that double line down there. I'm so excited. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, what you live in, Paul.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Hard racing between the 45 and the 46 car. This is for position. These drivers racing for P7.
Racing hard, and further up in the field, we also have a little bit of a race going on here for the fourth position, and further up for the second position, that 56 of Ryan Hatch, trying to hold off that 24, and behind them, they're battling for the looks like the fourth position. That is going to be the 02 of Collier, and oh, look at the crossover further up in front of them, the 24 and the 56 make a little bit of contact, racing hard coming out of 2.
Because race cars, that's why we do this, entertaining the masses. Here at Verdane TV, little onboard action here for your P2 driver. Look at how hard he's driving that thing, coasting it side by side. You couldn't put a piece of paper in between a 24 and the 56 that time by. And oh, by the way, they're side by side behind them for position as they cross the stripe for lap number 64, 56, all over the back bumper of Justin Poole. These guys heating things up for P2.
The 24, definitely the faster car. I think we're going to start seeing the 56 start to fade here. The 56 definitely wasn't letting that one go by easy. That last lap was very entertaining, as now we have Collier in that 0-2 making the pass at the 56, leaves a little bit of that Darlington stripe there in 3 and 4, really heating up here. Second, third, fourth, and fifth place, all within a half-tenth of each other.
This is exciting racing here. 4 drivers within the battle here for the second place position here on track. And this right here is why I don't race anymore. A, because I'm not very good at it. But
B, 45 on the 14! Big wreck! 2 cars, big wreck. The 45 hooks the 14 into the corner. Around they go. 45 and the 14. The 45 just cannot get away from the calamity of Andrew Tenold. And from what I'm listening to, the driver of the 14, DJ Lemon, is as happy as a dried lemon, and a dried lemon is not happy.
How? You know what? I don't want to know. Look at the U.S. Racing Designs instant replay. Here you can see the side-by-side battle. 14 down low, 45 up top. Crossing the stripe there, shooting on down into turn number 1. And you can see the 14 drifts up, drifts up, drifts up. Boop. Oh, loses a wheel on the right-hand side of the number 14 car. That's going to go down and bounce into the inside. Probably hit one of the campers down there or something. There you can see the Andrew Tenold machine of the 45. Big-time damage with him, but he's able to point it in the right direction and get on rolling once again. But that is a tough break. Big-time hit here to bring out the caution flag number 6 here on lap number 66.
And it looks like the number 56 machine, Ryan Hatch, has decided that he's going to take his ride down to the pit road. We saw him battling so hard there, trying to hold off second place with Justin Poole, but possibly wore out his tires, headed down pit road to get a new set on there. And can't blame him, man. If that car is just not handling right, maybe there's something you got to do. It looks like he's doing it.
You can see going to take right sides at least there on the 56. The top's from Vermont native. The 45 car going to come down pit road as well. Andrew Tenold going to see what he can do to see if he can get that thing up and ready to rock. You can see 3 times LRRA champion with 44 wins here in the Motor City Legends Racing Series. A DL Lenneman machine. 14 car Bitcoin machine, I believe, having some issues. Going to try and get that thing repaired as well. But it's still the 94 car, New York City native, up on the podium, up on the point. Rob Collier in the 02 machine has moved his way back up to the second position. There you see Matthew Stephen right in behind him with the 98 car. Justin Poole having a phenomenal run in that 24 car. Running in fourth, Tyler Bramble in the 39 has himself a top 5 run so far. 5 spots gained on the evening from where he qualified. Terry Freer, Robert Gast, Andrew Tenold, and Ryan Hatch in that 56 machine. Going to round out the top 9 drivers. That's 9 drivers that are on the lead lap currently here. Working lap number 68, 147 on the docket here with the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legends right here live on Vidane TV. Want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on Vidane TV. Live, interactive. That's how we do it. That's how we entertain the masses. Check us out on Facebook, Vidane TV. Check us out on YouTube, Vidane TV. We're even over on Twitch, Strictly 94. Lots of Grand Theft Auto stuff happening over there. And shout out to all of the different gaming communities that I'm a part of that are tuning in here on Twitch. And shout out to everybody that's out there tuning in here tonight. We've got lots of racing action, lots of iRacing action coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Next Thursday night going to be TCM's 2022-2023 season kickoff. Going to have ourselves a little super late model 100 race at North Wilkesboro. Going to be a lot of fun. The winner of that going to get themselves an invitation to the coveted TCM 300 later on this year in December. That's going to be a big time show. Do not want to miss that. And Monday night, how about it, Wes? The Liberty Racing Series, the Liberty Racing League, coming back to Vidane TV for one night only. Next week, anyway.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked for that. Hopefully, we're going to see Liberty on a little bit more with Vidane, but we'll see what the deal holds. And just to kind of go over and just to wrap that up real quick, it's going to be. I think there's going to be a great partnership between Liberty and Vidane. Vidane is the top-notch premier broadcast company on here, and I'm not just saying that because I helped found it. I'm saying that because it's true. What you're seeing here tonight on Friday, right here on Vidane TV, is some of the best that you're going to see when it comes to the broadcasting. But to follow up a little bit of that drama there, DJ Lemon did retire. Seems like he did not see himself to be at fault. So he has retired from this race with a little bit of choice words for the league. And DJ in the 14, DJ Lemon, the rotten lemon, the sour lemon, has retired.
And that's one of the cool things about iRacing. Everybody's got their opinions, and sometimes we like to air them here on the broadcast waves because we like to entertain the masses. Green flag flies once again. Got to shoot over to YouTube. Can we hear from the leader, Harrington? 11. Yes. Next caution flag. We will, in fact, talk to our leader if it's Pressey or whomever it may be. And at this rate, it may very well be Pressey. That 94 car, 0.6 of a second as he comes out of turn number 2, I think. Coming out of turn number 2, 0.6 of a second to lead, has those restarts figured out. And that's going to be something we're going to have to keep a look at. We're coming close to the halfway point here at Darlington. Third place, Matthew Stevens up to the outside wall just a little bit. Doesn't seem like it's slowing him down just a little bit, but you can see a little side-by-side action, a little three-wide action almost. The 48 car wants PC action as well.
Tex Linder further back, pounded the wall, kind of got out of the way after that. Linder back there in that 49 machine is actually stopped on the track ball. He is stopped on the track, and at the bottom of the track, the 49 tire is rolling away. Not exactly sure what's happening here. Maybe he stopped to get some ice cream. Nonetheless, it's not good to be stopped on the track.
Yeah, still a little bit stuck down there. Looks like he might actually be missing the right front wheel on that thing, so he might have to call for a tow truck, and indeed he does. So tough.
Oh, big wreck, Paul. 48 involved. The 45 is involved. Once again, the 48 and the 45 make contact again. The 45 looked like getting his revenge on the 48, and it may have backfired just a bit. The car that is extremely 24 laps down, once again getting into it with the Andrew Tenfold car of the 45. Caution is out one more time.
One mo again gives us an opportunity to take a peek at the U-House Race Designs instant replay live here on Vidane TV.
I'll let you take a peek.
We'll take a peek. Here, we're going to look at this in quarter speed because we can do that. I run at quarter speed most of the time. Well, that's just me.
I mean, next corner.
Hard racing. All right, we'll go full speed. And then we'll slow it down, because that looks like it's going to get spicy.
Well, yeah, it's going to be coming out of turn 4 here as you see them drive it down into 3 and 4 side by side. The 45, again, probably showing a little bit of displeasure here to the 48. 48 tries to come up. He does not allow him to clear. Absolutely Earnhardts him into the turn 4 wall. That still catches the 45, though, who clips the rear of his car to the wall there on the outside. Able to do a full 360, keeps it going, digging like Dale Jr., able to come across, keeping it straight. However, that 45 now is in shambles.
And that's tough, too. That's one of those, you don't want to call it a racing deal. You don't want to call it short track racing, but that's pretty much what it was. You get into a beef with the guy earlier on in the race. You're not trying to intentionally wreck him, but you're not going to give him any favors. You're not going to do him any favors. You're not going to give him a little bit extra room if you need to be. You're all going for the same piece of real estate at the same time, and unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't work. We see it happen from time and time again, and you see may have gotten everything sorted out on the racetrack. Hopefully that's the end of it. We'll put a fork in it. We'll call it done for now, but you can see the 94 car of Pressey going to come down pit road. He's going to get some tires on that machine, but we're going to have ourselves a new leader, Rob Collier, in the O2. So as we promised, we're going to talk to that leader here in the O2 car. As soon as we figure out the ways around the broadcast booth here, we're going to talk to that new leader. The O2 car stayed out on track under this caution flag and got himself a little bit of track position. Easy enough for me to say. Rob Collier in the O2 car. Paul Strickland up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, I got you.
You have been on top, on the bottom, and the middle, all over this racetrack, all the way up and down through this field. What is your plan for the last half of this race here as we approach halfway?
Hopefully we get a good 20 laps of green here before anything happens, and we'll just cycle back all on the same tire set. But other than that, just try to run away. Honestly.
Clean air
Rob,
seems... Shoot.
Rob, sorry, Paul. I got a question for you here. If you could explain to the viewers here how much that clean air really means and the difference that it makes, because we've seen almost every leader be able to check out and stay out. If you can kind of explain that.
It's mainly just a beauty that I can charge the corner how I want to. I'm not essentially relying on the person in front of me, seeing how they're checking up and so forth. And yeah, believe it or not, there is some aerotight with these 87s. A lot of people actually don't believe that, but it's true. So a little bit of clean air does help a lot. But I would say the biggie is just not being stuck in traffic helps the most.
Got a whole half or so of this race, just past the halfway point here. And we started this race off with a long green flag run. And looks like once we get things sorted out, might be what the doctor ordered up there in the front of the pack here. And it looks like the iRacing pace truck has shut those strobe lights off. Time to get back to work. The O2 car. Rob Collier, good luck, man. We'll hopefully talk to you after the end of the show.
All right, we just have to wait and see. Have a good one, guys.
It's Rob Collier in the O2 machine, leading at lap 76 here under the 7th caution flag. Stayed out under this one, the iRacing pace truck. The lights are off, Wes. We're getting ready to go green. One more game.
All right, we're going to see if this trend continues. I don't want to say it. I got to say it because it's true. We see the cream rising to the top. Rob Collier started this race on the pole, was out front until he got caught in the back with a little bit of pit strategy. Now it looks like he's made his way. It's cycled back through. And then the leader from the last time, who I believe is now sitting in we're trying to find where the 94 went here. The 94, he went all the way back to P5, or P6, I'm sorry. So from the lead to 6th, it's going to be interesting to see if Pressey can make his way up in that Kodak machine from 6th to make his way back up into the top 3 as we are back here green at Darlington as just we've seen. The leader is able to really check out to half second to a second lead here in 1 and 2 as the 56 bounces off the wall early here of Ryan Hatch.
Little side-by-side racing action, 56 to 45, and the 94 on those fresh tires, making it look easy. Nicholas Pressey moving his way, trying to move his way around that 45 car to break himself into the top 5, and you can see does so barely, still side-by-side. Doesn't quite have him passed just yet. Going to cross the stripe. I think he's going to have him here in 1 and 2. Indeed, he does. You can see the battle right in behind him.
Oh!
Oh, a tire got loose and they're wrecking the 45 car around. Loud noises. The 94 car in the wall.
The common denominator, Andrew Tunnell, goes around.
45 car finding himself in the struggle bus once again, and that 45 car going to take a peek at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, find out exactly what it was that happened there, Wes, and it almost looked like a couple of different things at once.
So the 94 is actually taking blame over race communications. He just basically tried to clear himself on the 45, and he was not clear. You're going to see that here in the replay here in a moment. 94 just wasn't clear, and the 45 was there for it. And then, unfortunately, again, we see it where a former leader of this race is caught up with a caution almost, immediately after they are no longer the leader. So tough break for Pressey. Again, we're seeing it here coming out of the corner. We're going to see it as they come across the start-finish line. They're going to come up in 1 and 2, and you kind of got to bully yourself around this track. It's just not clear. Hooks them. Unfortunately, the 98 gets caught up into it, sends the 45. The 24 barely missing that of Poole. Great job there by Poole and the 46 of missing that incident. But just one of those cases there, Paul, of not clear, buddy, not clear.
Yeah, and the 94 car, yeah, that's a tough break. We're going to ride on board with Justin Poole. Heads up driving to the 24. There's the wheel. There's the 40. Gets home by clear, all clear. Bring her on into the caution flag. Heads up driving by Poole in that 24 car. Still up 8 spots from where he qualified. And you made mention, Wes, that 94 car, he's got fresh tires on that thing. He thought he was able to get that driver clear. Unfortunately, didn't quite have enough to get up in front and found himself the outside safety barrier, lost a tire because of it. So those fresh tires, he's going to have to come down and at least get one more on that thing. You can see the 94 car down on pit road. He's going to get some service to that 94 machine. Tex Lindner in the 49, still on pit road as well. Derek Miller, he's going to get, well, he's still getting service on that 48 machine. Hey, Wes.
Crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Crunchy. What is that? What is it? Trick question? Always crunchy.
That's why we are in the booth together, buddy. You know, like 85% people like creamy peanut butter. Like, what is wrong with them?
Dude, if I wanted to eat creamy peanut butter, I just eat a stick of butter.
Exactly. Eat a stick of butter, throw some sugar on it. You got peanut butter or some peanuts.
Yeah, get an account. Everybody knows that. Not 80s kids or 90s kids or whatever
90s,
generation.
Paul.
90s.
We grew up in the 90s.
What year is it? 22.
I
What's my age again? What's my age again?
It's 1985.
I wasn't even a sprinkle in my dad's eye in 1985 yet.
In his what?
In his eye.
Oh, okay. All right, so we are going to be going back green here. Probably next lap, I think we're going to go back green if Collier. They're up front. And Paul, if you don't mind, I want to pull in Justin Poole real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we can make the magic happen here in the booth. We have that action. Here we go. We're going to pull up the driver of the Justin Poole machine, the number 24. Wes, you got him.
Hey, Justin, you got a copy?
I sure do. How's it going, guys?
Justin, just one more time. This is another really close incident for you. Just want to kind of get an idea of what is your Is your strategy here to be around every single incident to the point where you're caught up, or what's going on here, buddy?
I'm trying to stay alive. This is definitely not my greatest track. Just trying to keep the car together till the end of the race, to be fair.
Awesome. And just real quick, we didn't have a chance last, so you got anybody that you would like to thank?
My buddy Terry right behind me. He's provided me a setup tonight.
Awesome, man. We just want to give you one more opportunity to do so. Good luck out there, and hopefully we get to talk to you one last time on the podium.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Justin Poole. Just had to get a quick word from him. Sometimes we'll hear these drivers out of breath after these incidents because it takes your breath away, especially if you're like myself who races with a VR. It can get a little realistic. You know, the palms are sweaty. You know, the knees are weak and arms are heavy. And sometimes there's a little bit of vomit on your sweater already. And it's your mom's spaghetti and you get nervous.
I love spaghetti.
Exactly.
I'm always nervous.
Yes, exactly. There's medicine for that, Paul. We'll talk. But now we are coming off of turn 4, and a Geico restart zone is hit. Big jump there for the 0-2 of Collier. Not too many guys were ready. Not many drivers were ready for it there. As we are back green here at Darlington, he gets a big jump on the rest of the field, including Tyler Bramble in that P2 position in that beautiful 39 machine.
Big time gap you can see already there on the SDK Gaming timing and scoring there, and on the left-hand side of your screen, second and a half, second 0.6 as they go on into 3 and 4 between first and second, but the battle between second and third, much more closer. Bramble all over the, or gassed rather, all over the back bumper of the Bramble machine. He's going to back up just a little bit because there's 2 more cars that are trying to get that position. Oh, by the way, one of them's Ryan Hatch in that 56 machine. He's going to peek down low. He's going to shoot up high. That doesn't work. He's going to try and peek low again.
These 4 cars are racing super hard for this second position as we see Mr. Poole, who we just spoke to in the booth, shooting low on the 56, who hits the wall, hits the full contact, and he's able to stick it.
He holds it! Nice job! Yelling and screaming, the 54 car on the outside, safer barrier.
46 hard lick. 46 hard lick behind him.
The 56 car comes to a screeching halt in the Geico. Oh, that's why it's the Geico restart zone. There's a bunch of Geico logos down there.
Holy crap, Paul did just notice that. The 46, though, of Terry Freer has been pretty quiet throughout this race, and unfortunately, it looks like on my screen he didn't make contact. It looks like he pulled it low to miss the incident with the 56, but that car is toast. That was a rough one. Yeah, hard lick by the 56. 56 is not happy with the 24. But nonetheless, just an overcorrection, and oof, ate that wall like a fat kid eating cake.
Listen, I like cake, okay? I like cake a lot. And there you can see the 56. He doesn't like the outside safer barrier. He's going to get a big bite of it coming out of turn 4. You can see another car gets a piece of the action. How about the 94 all the way down to that safer Geico restart zone logo thing down there where the 56 car stopped? He gets all the way down. He gets by escape free, but the 56 going to have to get some repairs.
Let's go inboard if we can with that 46 there, Paul. If we go inboard with 46.
Yeah, you see the 46 car involved there. It comes to a screeching halt. We'll back up. Spins like a top. You can see he's got the battle here in front of him. We're going to take a look here. This is on board now with the Tire Farrier 46 machine. You can see side by side up there in front. Little 56 up on the outside wall. There's the contact. 56 in the wall again. There's a little bit more contact. Oh, 56. Oh, that is a tough break. And that is a windshield full of that Geico. I don't know. I know Geico does glass insurance. I don't know if they cover Lexan.
Man, I'm not sure. I really feel sorry for Freer there because he did a really good job keeping his nose clean. But we got the 56 now stopped on the track. Not sure exactly what's happening with the 56. It looks like he stopped in 3 and 4. I don't know if he's waiting for someone to push him or maybe call a tow. But that 56 machine is stopped on the track as we're seeing pit road is getting hot. Matthew Steven. We got Andrew Tenold down pit road. We have Robert Gass down pit road. Tyler Bramble coming out of pit road. A lot of drivers getting some fresh rubber as that 56 machine is still stalled on the side of the road. And Paul, if I can get an interview with Andrew Tenold, I would love to speak to him.
See if we can take a peek here. Andrew Tenold in that 45 car. You can see currently coming off, getting a little bit of damage repaired on that 45 machine. And we'll see if we can't find that 45 driver. Lots of different radio channels here with the Nexus Sim Racing, and it's good to see that these guys are able to stay in communication with each other and their teammates out on track. And
ooh, the right front of that machine is ruined of Justin Poole. That may be why what Justin was waiting for was that push. He's pushing him to pit road as he needed to be. That 56 is in bad shape. So seeing a little bit of teamwork here. Maybe after this we can get them into an interview. It looks like he's a little busy right now.
Yeah, and those guys, part of the Bitcoin Boys team, you can see, oh, that 56 car, that car is about broke. The right front tire going the wrong way, and you can see getting a big push there from the 45 of his teammates, and that's tough. When a car doesn't go under its own, we can interview those guys. We'll talk to those guys later on in the night for sure. The 45 of Andrew Tenold and the 56 there of Ryan Hatch, but like you said, Wes, they're a little bit busy.
Yeah, you never want to see that either. You never want to see a driver have to, go through that where his tires just all wadded up, and it's really fortunate he has a 45 at Tenold as a teammate. A lot of teammates wouldn't do that. They're not going to sacrifice their. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't care if teammate or not. I'm not sacrificing my. Are you
kidding me? When I wrecked at Daytona one time, I told you to go get me a hot dog and you wouldn't. Like, I mean, it's hard to find good teammates.
It really is. Just ask Chase Elliott. But the lights are off here in the iRacing Wheelin' Pace Truck. I think that's what we're calling it here. And if you are just joining us, you have missed 88 laps of action-packed racing here with the Nexus Motor City League here that has just been on fire.
Close. Nexus Sim Racing, Motor City Legends, not the Motor City Machine Guns. We know Doorstop Nation. We know Doorstop Nation. We know Joe. We know he's a big wrestling fan. This isn't the Motor City Machine Guns. There's no Alex Shelley in here, but it's the Motor City Legends here with the Nexus Sim Racing. These guys, they had a little bit of a clash at Daytona here a couple weeks back here on Verdane TV, but this is their live debut. on the interwebs here of Adane TV, where we hashtag entertain the masses. And there goes the pace truck driver. He's going to get himself a virtual corn dog and a virtual ice cold Coca-Cola. He's going to let us go for a restart here. These drivers going to cross the stripe. Barney in the flag stand waving that green flag like it's his job. Green flag flies once again here at Darlington Raceway. Lap number 90, kicking it off, and Pressy doing what he does
big
best.
Contact in the back, Paul. The 39 just got punted out of the way by the 24, who got punted by the 45. Sorry to cut you off there, but we almost had a caution right away out of turn 1 and 2.
And the 45 car being the greatest punter of all time, Pat McAfee. I don't know anything about football, but he's got a podcast and he's on SmackDown. I like the guy, Pat McAfee. You know, hey, if you're listening, give me a shot. Hey, yeah, it's fine. That's what I said.
You said McAfee.
Yeah, the antivirus guy, right?
McAfee.
Nicholas Pressy doing a great job getting the restart, but not walking away with it like he has in earlier restarts. You can see battle heating up in behind him. Matthew Stephen there in the 98 car, trying to work that high side, but he's looking down low. He's looking down low to the left-hand side because the 02 car of Rob Collier is there, trying to make a little magic happen all over the back bumper of that 98 car. And you can see right in his tire tracks, it is a 6-inch deep 2-track, trying to get in around him, trying to follow in, doing his homework right now. He knows we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, approaching 50 laps to go, needs to find out where he's strong so he can get in around this 98 car and hopefully track down that 94 car of Pressy with the lead.
Paul, I don't care if we're at the nitty-gritty or if we're at the Chattahoochee. I think the Rob Collier machine of that 02 is the fastest car out here. It seems like the only reason he's lost the lead at all has because of pit strategy, of taking tires. So we see him side by side with that 98 car of Matthew Stevens battling for second. Can he clear him off of turn 4? Not quite yet. He's going to have to try to get him here in 1 and 2. I got a feeling though, if Rob
behind him. I didn't catch the car. There he is, a 46 car around in turn number 4. A lap down, Terry Freer. We stay green. Green flag stays out. Terry Freer around in the 46 car, coming out of turn number 4. Gathers it back up, gets back up through the gears.
Paul, the 45 of Andrew Tenold wrecked as well. That same lap, the 45 Andrew Tenold, he's back going. They both synchronized spin at different places of the track and kept it going, and we stay green. And speaking of that, Rob Collier was able to grab that second position. We might see our first legitimate pass for the lead here as he closes up big time coming out of 1 and 2 on Nicholas Pressy.
The gyro cam here on board, the 02 of Rob Collier. You can see, I love this camera angle. It shows you the banking in the track. It lets you listen on the motor, lets you listen to what this driver's doing with the input. There you can see the 46 car off the pace, down low, gets around, no problem. The 02 car has his sights set, has the crosshairs on the back bumper on the 94 of Pressy. Look how much he closes up on that back bumper on entry. Loses a little bit on exit. Just kidding. He holds right with him. That 94 car may be in trouble here, Les.
Pressy had a pretty good exit there off of 1 and 2. However, 3 and 4, you see the 02 of just squeezing that gap. You see that gap? It's just squeezing it. He's trying to get a little closer as he's able to do so. But Paul, as you were saying, we're getting down into the triple digits of the laps. This is a 147 lap race. We're past the halfway point. We're on lap 97. It's time to go. I don't know how many tires are left on some of these drivers, but I'll tell you what, Pressy's on older tires than Collier. Collier's out there trying to get his lead back and looking to storm away with it. And now with the number of cars that are left in this race as dwindled down right now to, I think, about 11, I don't see the cautions coming as soon, Paul, or as often. So this might be time to play a little bit of strategy. Watch out for those tires. The one thing that the 02 of Rob Collier doesn't want to do is wear out his tires trying to get around Pressy, where on the long run, if he has to make a green flag stop, the caution doesn't come out. You're stuck on some pretty beat tires. There's a little bit of contact now as they're racing hard for the lead going into 3.
What do they call that in the racing world? A little cat and mouse between the 94, the 02. The 94 off the pace, bad line in that one. The 02 is there all over the back bumper. He's going to look low down here as they cross the stripe. Takes a peek as they cross the stripe for lap number 99. No dice so far for the 02 car. We know he's fast. He's led a bunch of laps earlier on here tonight. Made his way up and through this field at least twice throughout the wrecks and the pit stops and everything like that. That 02 car of Collier is fast. Pressy has that cleaner air on the nose on the 94 car. We know that's a big benefit here at Darlington Raceway, especially with these 87 cars.
Spin out of two, Paul. We got to spin out of two. 56 is around again, Paul. The 56 goes around again. He had no control coming out of turn 2. Wrecks into the 46. Caution is out. Watching that, it looks like he pounded the wall in 1 and 2, kind of drove it down off the wall, lost complete control of that car, overcorrected it, and just never got the control again of that car. And unfortunately, the 46 again, an innocent victim. So hard hit again for Ryan Hatch. He's just not having the greatest night tonight.
Taking a look at the U-House race design instant replay. There you see the 56. Kind of hit that yellow line earlier on, knocked the handling off that car, shot up into the outside safer barrier, tried to save it. Got a little squirrely there with the 56 car. There you see turns right into the 46 car. Innocent bystander, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time for that 46 car. And that's tough. That is a tough break for both the 56 and the 46 drivers.
Paul, pick your poison. Which one of the Bitcoin boys should we talk to?
Let's see if we can't talk to both of them, shall we not?
That's one at a time, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll see if we can talk to both of the Bitcoin boys here in the broadcast booth. We're going to bring in Andrew Tanold in the 45 car first, then we're going to talk to the second Bitcoin boy and Ryan Hatch in the 56 car. But Wes, take it away, man.
Andrew, this is Wes up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
I would say interesting would be a understatement of your race here tonight, man. You've been on top of the pylon, the bottom of the pylon, the middle of it, getting taken out by lap cars, man. Walk us through your race so far, bud.
Crap. Just real crap. Have a good car. Have a really good setup. Awesome paint scheme. Sucks that you guys can't see it. It's not your fault, though. Yeah, just keep getting wrecked. Stupid stuff. Real stupid shit. Not sure what we can do to change it, but I don't know. You know, it just seems like every lap we're getting wrecked. Almost by the same people. I mean, 24s, rubbed my shit a couple of times, so I'm pretty over it. Not gonna lie.
Man, I totally understand being in your shoes before. When you get hit by the same guy over and over again, it really gets old. But man, you're still on the lead lap. Don't know how your fast repair or your tire situation looks, man. But until that checker flag flies, you always got a chance. Hopefully, we can see you back up there and then possibly talk to you later on the podium.
Oh yeah, you're about to see some real shit. I can guarantee you that.
Well, the popcorn is ready, buddy. You throw it. We're here to catch it. Have a good
And
one.
always trying to entertain the masses. We're going to talk to the teammate here in the 56 car as well, Ryan Hatch. Couple laps down here tonight. But one of the cool things that Wes and I, we're teammates long time back. We've been racing together for a long time, and it looks like you got a little partner there with the Bitcoin boys there with you and the 45 at Andrew Tenold. It was cool to see that you got the little push. It sucks that you had to get pushed back to pit road first, but it's cool that you got somebody, a little brother in arms that you can able to work with.
Yeah, I've been racing with Andrew since, I don't know, 2014 probably. We've been good buddies for a long time, and I don't know. It's just watching Andrew's wrecks. It seems like everyone's doing the same thing. They're trying to pass in the center of the corner. That's just not where you set up a pass here. You got to set it up for the straightaways. So I call it a bonehead move. I don't know. It's really annoying.
Still got a little bit of time, though, to get back to up into the top 10, maybe top 5, maybe a podium finish here. About 45 or so laps to go here. What's the strategy going into this one? You got a couple of sets of tires left on pit road. What do we got to do to get back up towards the front?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really think we can. I mean, we're 3 laps down here with, what'd you say, 45 to go. I'd need everything to go my way to have a chance to win this thing, and it's just going to be hard.
Lots of positive vibes and essential oils needed down in the 56 camp. But been a great race to follow so far here tonight, and it's cool to see the camaraderie, the teammates action between the Bitcoin boys with you and Andrew. And that was something me and Wes picked up on here in the broadcast booth, being able to broadcast side by side, race side by side, and run a league side by side. And it was cool to see that, so we wanted to shed a little spotlight on that. Got to get the racing action. You guys are going green, so we're going to get you back to it.
Yep.
And the green flag flies once again. We've got ourselves a little bit of a battle, a big-time battle. That's already over. The 0-2, Collier takes it. He's going to be the leader as they come out of turn number 2, Wes. Thundering on down into turn number 3. Little side-by-side action battle for second. Nope, just kidding. Second side-by-side battle is for third. The 98, Matthew Stephen, Tyler Bramble in the 39 trying to make his name seen.
Paul, that's the first restart we've seen where the leader did not just check out, and it seems like Collier has the faster car, the better tires. He is overall in a better shape than Pressey is in that 94, and he's showing it. He's back where he started, back up front. As you see throughout the field, drivers narrowly missing that wall coming out of turn 2, but Collier showing why he was the pole sitter. And now it comes down to how far does that 94 fall, Paul? Seems like he might be holding up the 98 of Matthew Stephen. We're getting late in the race. If you end up being a rolling roadblock, sometimes you get moved. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
Big bada bump, I believe, is the official terminology in the iron racing community. I might be completely wrong. I don't know. That's a different thing entirely. But there you can see the 98 car on board inside the cockpit of the 98 machine of Matthew Stephen. And one of the things I want to point out, Wes, he is driving that car more with the throttle than he is with the steering wheel. You know a whole lot more about that than I do. Tell the fans what they're seeing here as we ride on board with the 98 car.
Yeah, so it's easy to steer your car with the throttle. You know, if you're loose, you're letting off the throttle. If you're trying to get that rear end to turn a little bit more, you can hit the throttle, and that will help it turn without even having to turn the wheel. So I think that's what we're seeing here, is instead of turning the wheel, he's giving a little bit more throttle. That's making that front end turn a little bit more and able to do so, or he's getting off the throttle, and it's helping that front end sit a little bit better in the middle of the corner or entry. So I think you're seeing a lot of that throughout the field, especially with these drivers on a little bit older tires. Because I'm sure just by watching this field, as the older tires get, the more loose it's getting on entry, and at that point, it all comes down to that right foot. For those that have never been into a race car, it's not all about just going fast and turning left. There's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of science that goes into it, and a lot has to do with that throttle input. And we're seeing that here tonight at Darlington.
100%. Rob Collier doing a great job in the 0-2 car, holding on to the point at this point in that 0-2 car. You can see 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds is the gap as he heads on down into the corner. Nicholas Pressey in that 94 car. 1 and 2 right where they qualify. Those guys have done their homework here on the track. It looks like Matthew Stephen also done his homework, as well as Justin Poole right in behind him in the 24 car. 98 spot, plus 5 positions, but the 24 car right in behind him, plus 9 from where he qualified. Justin Poole, talked to him a couple of times here tonight, doing a great job in P4 right now. And the 45 car, seen him involved in a couple of incidents here tonight. One of the Bitcoin boys, Andrew Tennell, holding on to the top 5 position right now. But man, look at him behind, look at right in behind him, that 39 car was.
That's where the battle's at here, Paul. We're pretty strung out throughout the pack. You've got Andrew Tennell trying to hold on to the top 5, but Tyler Bramble wanting it. And right behind Tyler is the 87 of Gast. We haven't said Gast's name much. He's been pretty quiet here, keeping his car clean in that 87. Sometimes that's all it takes, as we see the 39 looking low on the 45, crumpled up 45 machine. I'm assuming he is out of fast repairs, unfortunately, as he's able to make that pass rather easily there down the front stretch. But now it's seeing how far does that 45 drop of Tenold. We talked to him. He's pretty down in it as he's sideways, and there goes the 45 coming out of turn 2. Single spin by the 45 coming out of turn 2. Andrew Tenold was not a happy camper when we spoke to him before. I'm assuming he's not going to be a happy camper now. He's going to be a camper that is a mad little camper. And that 45 machine of Andrew Tenold has seen enough for this race. Man, that driver's seat's got to be hot. All right, as Paul Strickland Jr. has actually locked himself in the driver's booth bathroom. He's trying to figure out how to get himself out. I hear the door banging in the back. However, he is stuck. And
Hello?
So we will wait for him. Oh, there he is.
Hey!
There he is.
Oh, God, these outhouse. Man, we need a new outhouse sponsor here at Bedane TV. I'm telling you. With that 45 car, you saw it there live in the U-House Races Signs instant replay. 45 car not having the night. And Wes, you and I have both been there, man. It is not the night that you ordered. It's not the night the doctor ordered. It's not the night the dentist ordered. It's not the night the crew chief ordered. It's just not your night. And the 45 car, the Bitcoin boy, not having the night that he was looking for here at Darlington.
No, the Bitcoin boys are not having the night that they were hoping for. However, someone that is Collier in that 0-2. It is, man. It literally, again, I hate saying it because it's such a cliche and we get called out for it, but the cream rises to the top. You know, the faster guys.
That was one of the things on the bingo card.
Yes. If we ever see 100% absolutely cream rises to the top, you have to drink. So if you're watching this stream and you are going along with this, call 911 and do what you got to do. But we are up here now. Rob Collier has joined us in the booth. Rob, you got a copy?
I'm still here.
Rob, man, you have gone from the top to the bottom to the top, and you're here again. You're the first driver to really make a pass for the lead, and now you are up in the lead. What's doing it for you, buddy? Is it tires? Is it strategy? What got you here?
I think about 300 laps turned around here and just building this car, to be honest.
I'm in.
Hey, they say practice makes perfect unless you're in my relationship. But nonetheless, Rob, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to that's possibly watching?
If the wife is actually upstairs watching, shout out to her. She lets me do this, so I gotta thank her for letting me do this. So
that's the number one person you think. Again, practice makes perfect. I'm still learning. So, Rob, you're doing a heck of a job out here, man. We love watching you. I know that I think the pace truck lights are going off here. It's been fun watching you. You've been wadded up. You've been the leader. We've watched you get rear-ended and ARCA braked. We've seen you go up underneath the car, and here you are, the leader, man. It shows that perseverance definitely pays off. And let's not get any more Darlington stripes. Let's leave the Lady Black alone, and let's see if we can get you in victory lane.
See what happens. Hopefully I don't burn off a right front here. But
all right. Hopefully we talk to the podium.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's going to be the drive of the 02 car of Rob Collier in the 02. Current leader here on lap 114. We got ourselves a little bit of a caution here. 11 cautions here on the night. But all in all, Wes, it's been a pretty fantastic run here tonight. Couple of bugs up here in the booth. We're working some things out here. It's been a long off season here at Bedane TV, but we appreciate you guys playing along here with us live and interactive here on Bedane TV as we hashtag entertain the masses. We're live on Facebook, Bedane TV. We're live on YouTube, Bedane TV. We're live over on Twitch, Strictly 94. We're going to be doing some Grand Theft Auto here later on. Shout out to the TrueFictionRP.com boys and gals. Going to be flying in here very, very soon. But before we get into the Grand Theft Auto style of things here, Wes, we've got ourselves a handful of laps left at Darlington. We've got ourselves 8 drivers on the lead lap here in the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legend Series that think they can come home with the big one, with the trophy, with the throwback trophy here at Darlington. Lights are off in the pace truck. We're getting ready to go green.
Paul, we've called some shows on here that I think we would call them poop shows, and this is definitely not one of them. These guys have put on one heck of a show for us here at Darlington. Even with the cautions, there's been a lot of good hard racing. So the green flag is out. This might be, Paul, you never know, this might be the last caution. These guys have been getting a little strung out. Let's see how it goes as they dive it off into 1 and 2. Collier with that hole shot, but for how long? Look at there. Pressy holding up with him.
Picking him up, putting him down, riding on board with Rob Collier. You can see he's got clean air in front of him, but that 94 car of Pressy is there right in the tire tracks of that 0-2 car, trying to make a little magic happen. The 0-2 car up in the outside wall, coming out of turn number 4, comes back down, slows him up, screws his psyche, all sorts of messed up. The 0-2 causes a stripe on lap 117 as the leader, but can he hold on to it into the outside wall?
Oh, 45 hard into the wall, Paul. 45 hard in the wall, makes contact with the 98, is able to hold it. Talking back to Collier, he said in his interview he hopes he doesn't wear out the right front. That tells me that he is concerned, obviously, about his tire wear, and maybe he's on older tires than some of these guys. That's how he got back out there. As the 45 pounds the wall again, and around he goes. By himself, he's able to save it. Another guy that said in our interview, we're about to see some poop. And he's showing us poop. Poop in a bag. That 45 car is showing us here as he is really pushing his limits. And maybe a little bit further than what he should be, but nonetheless, he's pushing hard.
How about that heads-up driving, though? Keeps that thing pointed in the right direction, stays on the lead lap, still holding on in 8, scrapes the outside wall once again, but doing everything he needs to do here in the final showing, the final laps here at Darlington. Doorstop Nation jumping on board as a sponsor here tonight. How about that 0-2 car of Collier holding on to the lead? Nicholas Pressy in that 94 right in behind him. And it's great to see, Wes, that number 94 running so good here at Darlington.
Terry Freer farther in the back gets around the 56 machine. That driver again, he's seen a lot of incidents that have not been his fault, but he's been getting caught up into them, trying to miss them. But nonetheless, that battle for the lead is still heating up. The 94 Kodak machine of Nicholas Presley, he's staying right on the coattails here of Rob Collier. Collier makes one mistake. Pressy is there to pounce, man. I'm talking pounce. And let's see what happens here. Turn 2 comes out clean.
Kirk Shelmerdine, 27 laps to go here at Darlington, riding on board with that number 94 car of Nicholas Pressy. And you can see doing everything in his power to do his homework, trying to study the back bumper of that 0-2 car of Rob Collier. Talked to him a couple of times here tonight. He wants to have himself a good finish, and he's doing everything he possibly can to get that car there. But oh, by the way,
one around 56 is around, Paul, further in the back, coming through across the start-finish line. The 56 lost it off the corner. It took him the entire straightaway to wreck, and there's the 46 unfortunately getting caught up again in an incident that is really not his fault. He actually does a really good job of saving it. You guys are about to see that, but man, the Bitcoin boys did exactly what Bitcoin did. Failed.
And crashed a couple of times.
Crashed a couple of times, yeah.
But in any sense, we'll take it. We kid because we care. We kid because we care. There's some camaraderie there with the Bitcoin boys. And Wes and I can appreciate that. There you see the 46 gives a little kiss to the outside wall. The 56, he comes down low. He's going to look down below that dashed yellow. Same piece of real estate at the same time. They kiss. They bump doors. Everything all good. Mwah! Down into the corner. The 56 comes high. Everything is Gucci. But the 46, he doesn't want to battle him. Oh, the 56 just kind of loses it. There's no contact there. A little bit of aero loose. The good news there with the Bitcoin boys there, Wes, not heavy contact. It looks like just kind of an honest spin there.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, these 87 cars are tougher than a stool that a fat chick sits on, man. They will hold anything. And they do a really good job of being able to beat these cars up and still be able to keep going at a good rate of speed. But unlike his teammate in that 45, who has just been punched in the mouth too many times, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be able to go. But bigger story here, both of our leaders have hit pit road. Rob Collier and Nicholas Pressy both going down pit road. Looks like Collier's going to come out of looks like he should come out of the pits in front of him, judging by the time his cars come down. Yep, he will do so. The 24 actually comes out in front. The Justin Poole comes out in front of Nicholas Pressy. So, throwing a wild card in there. We haven't seen too much of Justin Poole as of late. When we have been calling his name, it wasn't for good reasons, but now here we go. Justin throwing his name into the mix.
Rob Collier beats everybody off pit road in that 0-2 car. He's going to restart in P3. Bramble and Freer stayed out on track. The 39-46 car out on track. And see, let's do some more driver communication, shall we? Let's see if we can maybe hook up with the, well, we already talked to the 46, I believe.
I think we've talked to everybody in Discord at this point, Paul.
Well, let's talk to the 46 car again, shall we? See if we can pull up the 46 car running in P2. Stayed out on track at this point. 24 laps to go here at Darlington. What's the mindset? What's the plan? What do you got going on here for the rest of the race here, Terry?
I'm just hanging on for the ride, honestly. I'm not very good at this track. I have no more fast repairs, and I have no tires left, so I had nothing that I needed to pit for. So here I am. We're going to see what happens.
That's almost my entire sim racing career summed up in about a 30-second clip. But it's great to see a little throwback Jeff Gordon tribute car. Unfortunately, we don't have it right on the Verdane TV broadcast, trying to figure out the trading paints action. But I'm a big-time Jeff Gordon fan, and it's cool to see that there's still Jeff Gordon fans out there running the throwback schemes, and it's cool to see. And your teammate, Justin Poole, we talked to him in the 24 car a couple of times here tonight. Confident in the 24 car. He's running fourth. He's going to restart fourth. Are you guys going to work together, or is this kind of every man for himself here? Every man for himself as we come within 23 laps of the finish.
We're going to try and work together. I don't know if I've got anything, though. Rob is really fast, and he's right behind me. And I got 11 laps on these tires, and he just pitted, so we're gonna see if I can hold him off long enough to maybe get Justin in front of me, and then let him fight it out with Rob. But I don't know. I'm just lucky that I'm where I'm at right now.
Right on top five with just a handful of laps to go. Hopefully we talk to you here in the post-race show, the podium finish, but we're going to kick you back down to your team channel, man. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you.
And Wes, you and I both know teammates, great. Yeah, awesome to have in your back pocket, but when it comes down to a mile track here like Darlington, a little short track action, you try and help your teammate out, but realistically, you're trying to get that trophy for yourself.
I think the saying is teammates make the dream mates. Is that what the saying is?
I don't think that's what it is. No, I don't.
Okay,
no.
Well, we're at the Geico restart zone, and the Tyler Bramble machine, that 39 has fired off as a leader. First time we've seen him as a leader this race. As we go down into 1 and 2, pack stays pretty even, though we don't see him getting that whole shot that we've been seeing earlier in the race. But again, these guys are on older tires. 24 slaps the wall pretty hard coming out of 1 and 2. That allows that 94 of Pressey be able to get up around him, who's also on fresh tires. So we have the 02 of Collier sitting in fourth. He's on fresh tires. We have the 94 on fresh tires. Those are the two drivers that pitted. They were your two leaders. So it's going to be a little bit tough for them to work it through, but sounds like tires is going to be the name of the game. And now we got a battle for second, Paul.
Battle for second, eating up. The 0-2 car wants in. Collier trying to get up towards the front, and he's doing everything he can to try and get up to the back bumper of the Bramble machine, and he does so. Doing everything he possibly can to try and get himself up towards the front. Everything hunky-dory so far. You can see the stint length on your screen. 14 laps since Bramble came down. 13 laps since Freer came down for tires. Everybody else on fresh tires throughout the field. Not going to be a tire race with 20 laps to go here at Darlington with the NEXUS Sim Racing.
Oh, 02 gets hurt by the 24. He's hit by the 98 and around he goes.
A 45 involved as well.
The 45, the common denominator. Andrew Tedefo goes around, as well as the 87 of Robert Gass. Tough break. Paul, again, we talked about it before, about track position. The 02 pit, he got tires, he got passed by the 94, and then punted by the 24 into 1 and 2. Man, big-time calamity here in Darlington Raceway, and yes, that was a big wreck.
Big bada boom for the O2 car. U-House Racing Designs instant replay popping up on your screen. There you can see the O2 car get a little bit sideways, and oh man, the 48 car gets a piece of the action as well. Everybody else gets by hunky dory, and I don't remember the guy that I'm quoting right now, but man, oh man, is that a caution? I think that's a caution. That's a caution here with the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legends Series. Tough break for the O2 of Collier. We've seen him all throughout this entire field, and man, oh man, P7 with less than 20 laps to go, not where he needs to be.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that might be it for him with only 19 to go. This field is not large. Obviously, he'll be only starting 6th at worst, so it's not over for him. You never know. If he has another set of tires left, if I'm him, I'm throwing more tires on it at this point. You really have nothing to lose, but we don't know if he has fast repairs left or not, but that was rough. The O2, arguably the fastest car here today. Runs into problems, getting mirrored back in the field. 24 said, you know what, it's 4th and 10. We got to punt.
There you can see the battle for first on your screen. Bramble up front. Nicholas Pressing, 94 car, having a great run. Still holding on to that P2 position that he was able to qualify for. Still right where he needs to be. Maybe +1, maybe +2. Terry Freer in the 46 car. Currently running in third. Justin Poole talked to him a couple of times tonight here in the 24 car. He is running P4. And Matthew Stevens, seeing him on your screen right now, rounding out the top 5. The 45 of Andrew Tenold. He's going to be running in 6th. Robert Gaston, the 87 machine, 4 spots gained from where he qualified, up in the 4th position. Rob Collier just made mention, involved in that previous one. He's going to be the last car on the lead lap in that O2 car in P8. Ryan Hatch in the 56 machine holding on to P9. He's going to come down and get a little bit more damage repaired on that 56. Monte Carlo and Tex Linder in the 49 machine. He's going to round out the top 10 so far in this Darlington race here, the NEXUS Sim Racing. And man, it has been an ordeal here so far this evening in the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legends series. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show, brother.
They are, and I'm glad this is the race that I came back to. I'll tell you that. This has been really, really, it's been entertaining. You know, some of these drivers have been a little bit upset. Some of these drivers aren't exactly happy with each other, but hey, I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far. And man, I can't wait to call the next one with him.
Gotta tell you, it's one of those things where we try and entertain the masses here at Vidane TV. There's lots of things going on all the way around this racetrack, lots of stories. We're trying to keep up with everything that we possibly can, and man, oh man, has it been an eventful evening here tonight. But so far, you can see 13 cautions on tonight, but man, oh man, 16 laps to go here at Darlington. Want to make mention that we are live and we are interactive here in the internet world, YouTube, Vidane TV, Facebook, Vidane TV, and over on Twitch, Strictly94. Been cool to chat with some of the drivers, some of the crew chiefs, some of the fans throughout the evening, but the lights are off. The iRacing Silverado Pace Truck single file restarts here in the Motor City Legends, and man, oh man, that may be exactly what the doctor ordered for the 39 car of Tyler Bramble. He knows he's going to take this, he's going to cross that stripe, Wes, with 15 laps to go, and there's nobody on his inside unless they beat him in turn number 1.
And shout out to Serena Williams, completely off topic. Her career is now over. She just ended her career. She just lost in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open. She is a legend of my childhood. Shout out to Serena Williams. a tennis great. And speaking of knocking balls around, we are coming out of turn 4 here to take the green flag back. Here on lap 133, green flag is out. The 39 gets a great start, but so does that 94 of Pressy. They are going to be nose to tail going into 1 and 2 on this restart. Pressy with the bumper to him. That's not going to work out well. As Pressy goes up the track, that's going to open up the door for that 46 machine of Freer. Freer said he's just happy to be here. But here he is on the podium, and now we got a battle for the lead going into 3.
Hey, you're a poet and didn't even realize it, but the 97, he doesn't want to hear any of my rhymes. He's just going to go for the lead. Going to get around the 39 crossover. How about it? The 39 car up Rabel trying to make a little magic happen for himself down to the bottom side of 3 and 4. Does not happen. The 94 car of Pressy takes the lead with 14 laps to go. He's got about half a second behind him, and it seems like it's going to heat up for P number 2. That 46 car of Freer all over the back bumper of the 39.
The 45 is bouncing off the wall like a kid off his Ritalin. However, he is pushing it so hard, pushes the 24 up the track.
You the 24 to the wall.
Oh, man, they're trying that big one. Oh, no, they've saved it. They saved it. Jesus Christ. Oh, man, they saved it.
They didn't save it. I don't think they saved it.
They saved it.
13 to go. How about it? Pressy, the 94 car.
Tires falling off the 46 machine.
Checking in on the 46 tire Freer. Caution flies. Caution flies. You see the 9 car down on pit road. I don't think that's what brought the caution flag out, though. Tires out on the racetrack with 13 laps to go. Pressy holds on to the lead. Matthew Stephen in second. Andrew Tettle in third. Justin Poole in fourth. Rob Collier in fifth. Wes, why are we under caution?
Because
39.
the 46 and the 39 and 3 and 4 late caution as they are admin controlled. They make hard contact. Both cars end up losing a tire, which caused the 46 to not be able to turn, hits the wall, which also messes up the 39, who could not turn as he ate the wall. Both cars completely broke. Oh man, that was racing for second position. Just complete calamity. That 46 of Terry Freer said, hey, I'm just happy to be here. I have no more sets of tires. I have no more resets. Paul, what do you do if you have no more sets of tires and no more resets and you lose a tire? What happens?
You send it. And that is exactly, I think, potentially what may have happened here. 46 car talked to him earlier on here in the night. He's going to try and take that low side, try and take that position. The 39 is going to get down low. Same piece of real estate, that middle groove there in the racetrack. They touch. Boom! There is the outside save for Barry. You see a couple of cars get a piece of it. That tire, that yellow tire from the 46 car, that's all the way back in turn number 3. We don't need that stinking tire. The 46 car,
we don't need it!
Big time contact with that outside save for Barry for the 39 car. He might go need that tire.
You know what that tire and education has in common? We don't need it.
113%.
Shout out to Pink Floyd and The Wall, because that's what both those drivers just hit. See what I did?
I see what you did.
We don't need no education.
Yeah,
that was great, man.
The Wall, that was the greatest day.
NASCAR
humor. I like it. Nicholas Pressy in that 94 car. We heard him over. We heard him. We heard him on the crew radio. Hey, you gonna come down for tires? I'm gonna stay out. I'm gonna take this track position. I'm gonna do everything I can on the restart to hold on to this lead. Pressy, 94 car, been there most of the night. 98, Matthew Stephen to be exact. 6 spots gained. He is in P number 2. Andrew Tennell, the 45, we talked to him early on, the Bitcoin boy. He is doing a phenomenal job, a fab job in P3. Justin Poole, the 24 car, we talked to him a couple of times tonight. He's up in the top 5. He's going to restart. P4, Rob Collier, the 02. He's been all over the damn place tonight. He's been in the lead. He's been in the back. He's been 16
Don't count
down.
out that 02 of Rob Collier. Well, you can't. You can't. He's shown to be the fastest guy. Keeps on getting caught up in some stuff. I'm not going to count him out. And one thing that you can count on is those pace truck lights going out next time around. And I think, as the 45 said, in other words, some poop flying. I think we're going to see more poop flying here because it is, man, I think it's going to be the equivalent of being locked inside a nut house. People are just going to be throwing poop on the walls, and they're just going to be sending it here at Darlington.
We're going to get ourselves one of those jackets where you're always hugging yourselves. You're bouncing off the inside safer barriers, the padded walls, if you will. Lights still on the iRacing pace truck as we cross.
Unfortunately, Paul, there's I'm sorry to cut you off. There's 11 cars left here, Paul. 11 cars left. That's counting the 9 who's on pit road.
9 is on pit road. 8 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Hatch, the 56 machine, back on the lead lap from 3 laps down. War of attrition here in the iRacing world, here in the Darlington Raceway virtual racing world. But the 94 car, Pressy, he is up front. He's been up front all night long. Matthew Steve in the 98 car gained himself 6 spots to be where he's at in P2. The 45, he's mad. He's mad at the world right now, but he's doing a great job. Phenomenal recovery for the 45. Andrew Tanold, the Bitcoin boy, up in P3. Justin Poole in the 24 car rounding out the 4th place driver. Rob Collier in the 02. He's going to restart in P5. Robert Gass, Tyler Bamble, Ryan Hatch, and Tyler Freer in the 46, I believe, still on pit road, but we got 8 cars or so on the lead lap, 9 laps to go. Pace truck's going down. He's getting a corn dog and a Coke. Wes, we're going green, baby.
Leader hits the Geico restart zone with a huge hole shot, does Pressy. No relation to Elvis because he's missing a letter or two. As he shoots it down into 1 and 2, right now it's looking like nobody has anything for him with 7 to go, but there comes Collier in that 0-2. Collier with a man on the mission. He's shooting for P3 with Andrew Tenold's in coming into 3.
Pressy, he gone. He is checked out. 0.7 of a second is the lead between he and Steven Tenold and Collier side by side. Now the battle is for third. 45 up on the high side. Collier down on the bottom. Seen him all the way through the field. He is trying to get himself a podium finish. Got himself the spot right now. Slides into P3. Doing everything that car needs himself to do. Doing everything he can to get that 02 car up on the podium finish, working that high side, making the magic happen. Collier up to P3.
He's currently the fastest car on the track, so it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to work through. But further back in the pack, 45 gets sideways. Oh, 39 into the 45. We got a big wreck further up in the pack. Gaston wrecks as well. Further up in the 87. We got tires going faster than the cars out here. Holy calamity, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's going down here in Darlington. As Paul is stroking out one way or another, he is trying to find us a replay here, and it was, man, again, that 45, he warned us in the interview. He said he was going to send it, poop was going to fly, and he is throwing poop by the handfuls as he just sent it into the corner there, and it just did not stick. He spun it out, and unfortunately bringing on innocent victims as such as the 87 to 39. Looks like the 87 actually got turned by the 45's teammate further up there of Ryan Hatch.
And that's tough. You and I have been there where you know, Wes, you've been trying to make a little magic happen. You got your teammate with you. You're working with your teammate. You're trying to get it to work. You're trying to get towards the front. And there's somebody else that's just got a completely different itinerary altogether. So the 45 involved in another incident here. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage. He's going to try and stay out on track. He's on the lead lap. Still has a shot to win this thing. Single digits to go. 5 laps to go. Currently looks like we're going to take the restart here with a green-white checkered finish here. So 3 laps to go for the restart. And man,
Paul, do we know how many green-white checkers they may have?
At least 12. I have no idea. I will be honest. I have no idea.
Paul just
we're gonna find out together.
Out there of 12, folks. 12.
But man, dude, it has been an action-packed night here at Darlington Raceway. I don't want to use the term knocking the cobwebs off here in the Vidane TV broadcast, because, you know, we like to think we don't have too many cobwebs, but man, look at the picture you guys are seeing right now. Crystal clear picture on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on the Twitch. That right there is thank you to the NEXUS Sim Racing Group. A little bit, you know, we worked, we wheeled, we dealed, we did some dealing. We got a 3060 Ti graphics card hooked up here at Vidane HQ. And that is courtesy of the NEXUS Sim Racing Group. Great to have these guys on board. We got ourselves a 6-pack of races here in the Motor City Legends cars. These guys don't disappoint, Wes. These guys picking them up, putting them down. We've had a couple of caution flags, but you know what, man? It's Darlington. You're going to have that.
Paul, I was trying to find some information here on how many green, white checkers. However,
we want information.
Trying to figure it out. Give me a second. I'll find it real fast.
And that is what it's all about. Got to give a quick shout out again. Talked about him a couple of times here. Joel, man, I'm not even going to try and butcher your last name on air because I do it all the time. I've done it all the time for the past 15 years. DoorstopNation.com. Check this guy out. You see the link down in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. DoorstopNation.com. Big time supporter of racing. You've seen the DoorstopNation.com logo on the front row Motorsports Cups cars. You've seen it. It's happened. Google it. They're there. Doorstop Nation been a huge supporter of sim racing, iRacing, NASCAR Racing 2003, Vidane Racing, and Vidane TV, and a good friend of mine, Joel. Great to have you on board, hooking these guys up with a little bit of race sponsorship. DoorstopNation.com. Check these guys out. Wes, you've got a little bit of indie wrestling background, and I know Joe's out there watching. He's got a podcast. What do we got going on in the world of Cole Bohannon
Cole Bohannon can be found in Ocala at Adrenaline Wrestling tomorrow night. And Joe, if you got a podcast, if you want the fastest growing independent wrestler in the state of Florida on your show, this is the guy to get a hold of. And I just got the word that it is 3 green white checkers, by the way, Paul. 3 green white checkers that we're able to have here tonight. So let's see if we end up using them all, but we're going to be under a green white checkered here. But yeah, Joe, you heard me. Yeah. Get your boy on a podcast. Cole Bohannon is the fastest growing independent wrestler in the state of Florida and soon to be the Southeast. But you know what else is growing? My arousal for the end of this race as the lights on the pace truck are off, Paul.
And you know what else? We get a single file restart here at Darlington. Nicholas Presley doing everything he can in that 94 car. He's going to be able to pick when Barney in the flag stand drops that green flag. He's going to go early.
Did he jump it, Paul?
He didn't jump it, I don't think, but 0.6 of a second as he goes on down into turn number 1. Matthew Stephen holding on to second right now, and he is a long-distance second. And oh, by the way, he was going to have a mirror full of Rob Collier in the 02, but he hits the outside wall. The 24 car of Justin Poole, he comes on around 2 flags, popsicle sticks are in the air here at Darlington.
The 02's broke. He's trying to get down. No, he just got rear-ended by the 49 hard. He just got pounded from the rear. The 02 was damaged, cannot get down to pit road. Big damage, but we stay green. Oh, man, that was the pounding brassers would be proud of. The 02 of Rob Collier is big-time damage. And there goes the 56. He's wrecking down the backstretch. Oh, he collects the 45. His teammate. Parts go flying everywhere. Somehow we're still green. White flag is out here at Darlington Raceway, the number 94 coming around. And I'm sorry, that was the last lap. I'm saying the white flag. That was the last lap, the number 94 of Nicholas Presley bringing it home. No wonder the caution didn't come out. Nicholas Presley brings it home in first place, followed up by Matthew Stephen. going to finish up second. Looks like third is going to end up being the actually he's already left the race. That was going to be Justin Poole in the number 23. That is your podium, followed up with Tyler Bramble in the 39. Andrew Tenold pulls out somehow in a top 5 finish. Ryan Hatch 6th. Rob Collier, unfortunately, with a 7th, with his rear end completely pushed in. Robert Gast 8th. Tex Linder 9th. Terry Fear is rounding out your top 10. Then in the further in the back, Stephen Downton will be 11th. DJ 11th. 12th. Derek Miller will be 13. Shane Calhoun will be 14th. And that will round out your field. So Nicholas Presley he survived this. Survival of the fittest. And Nicholas Presley brings it home. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will have interviews of the top 3 for you when we come back.
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Darlington, and we have just wrapped up 149. Yes, that's a couple more laps than what we intended to run with a green-white checkered of laps here at Darlington in these Legends cars, and we have the winner of tonight's race, Mr. Nicholas Pressey. Nicholas, your race was kind of up and down, up and down. Seemed like strategy helped you get up front. The clean air helped you stay up front, and then the biggest threat that you had ended up not being able to get through the pack as quick as you were. Nick, throw us a quick curveball of how your race went here tonight.
Well, the tires and positioning, it was a real battle between those things all day. And it seemed that positioning had always prevailed at one point or another. At some point, I decided to stay on the set of tires as long as possible, or at least as I thought practical before coming in. And I got a good while out of those, while other people were pitting. So I knew that if I took my last set at the right time, it would have worked. Unfortunately, I ran into some hassles along the way, and I do apologize for the 2D45 who I had inconvenienced in one of the wrecks in today's race. As for the final restart, using the syntax of the rule book, the rules stated, it was agreed upon that once the pace car was in the pit road, there's clearance to initiate the restart. So I heard pace car is off, waited 3 or 4 seconds, and then just punched it.
Man, for a while, especially at the beginning of this race, you guys really got strung out. It seemed like we're going to get some really green flag runs, but it just seemed like cautions were beginning to breed cautions before you knew it. This was like a caution flag on a pole race. It was just, you're just racing to the next caution. Were you anticipating a long green flag run at some point? Or did you kind of have in the back of your mind, all right, we're going to get a couple more cautions here pretty quick?
Admittedly, I was very prepared for a long string of green flag running. A lot of us had set up our cars for that 30 to 40 lap range before tonight's race because, we all thought, Darlington will get strung out. But, we also like to run the cars hard. And as a result of that, sometimes, we get these things. There's nothing wrong with the way that though. I mean, one, it's a product of the track for being very unforgiving, and I made my own gaffes as proof of that. However, Darlington can be a bit bizarre in that the way we're driving it very well was as likely that it could have gone green for very long stretches of time. I trust these guys to do that. It very well could have happened. It just didn't this time.
And one final question about the race. When it came to Mr. Collier there in that 0-2, it seemed like you two were the class of the field. Was he at all in the back of your mind? Was that the one guy you're thinking, okay, he's the one I need to beat?
Back in my mind, that dude was at the front of my mind and in front of my car for most of the race. He was, I think, to say the least, the class of the field. I would say that had this played out naturally, he would have bested me. So it is a real shame what happened to him at the end of the race. And I do commend him for his efforts, as well as the efforts of Matt Steven and Justin Poole to round out the podium, because they also had some very high quality drives today.
For sure. We saw some quality racing out here. Nonetheless, seeing, only 7 cars on the lead lap at the end, we did see some really good passing, some hard racing, and that's what we like to see. And just to wrap things up here, Mr. Winner, Mr. Pressey, let's give some shout outs. Anybody you would like to thank that maybe helped you get here, some shout outs to some viewers. The mic and the floor is yours.
Shout out to the family and friends, first off. They always like to watch the races. And they like to learn about what I like to do in my spare time, and I enjoy telling them about it. So that brings always a smile on my face. Harrington, he's actually my primary sponsor through the end of the calendar year, and I am glad that that I could get another win sponsored by Fan Fuel, the Fan Fuel podcast and sports and motorsports blog. But yeah, the shout out to Eddie Bierswale for inspiring the paint scheme that I used tonight. It's a real shame that trading paints was being fickle, so we couldn't really see it in all its glory. It's what it was based off his Kodak car from the '86 season. And I'd like to thank you guys for putting on one heck of a broadcast. You guys, kept us on the edge of our seats, both in the car and out of it.
Thank you so much for putting on such a good race and a battle up there in front. Congratulations again on the win, Mr. Pressey, and hopefully we get to talk to you again in the future here in the podium here on Vidane TV. So once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Also, one last shout out to Andrew Tennell for recovering today, and Tyler Bramble, who I had to pass her lead, and he made a really good recovery from 8th afterwards.
Awesome. Shout out to both those drivers. And again, congratulations, Nicholas, on your win. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your winner, Nicholas Pressey. Everybody give him a round of applause as we work down the podium to the number 2 position of Matthew Stephen. Matthew, runner up here. However, you drove your tail off here tonight to pull that off. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, I kind of had the third best car when it came down to it. Yeah, Nick and Rob were definitely the class of the field. I could hold them with a little bit. And others, mainly it was just positioning, pitting when you needed to, and trying to work yourself through the pack, which at Darlington is a pain. And yeah, just trying to be at the correct spot at the correct time. I missed a couple of wrecks. I got involved in a couple of wrecks. So luck, mostly when it comes to stuff like that. And that's pretty much all with that. Typical Darlington race, honestly.
Steven, we saw that you were in the, in kind of the in the mix of a couple different action-packed events there, a couple different cautions, a couple different accidents. Walk us through how you were able to get through not only the calamity but also figuring out your tire strategy. It seems like that was the common denominator, was figuring out when to pit, when to change those tires, and when to it seemed like just a whole tire strategy race. Walk us through your strategy.
So mainly it was running it until the tires kind of had no grip, so it could survive about 3 restarts. And I knew after that I kind of needed to go back in and get a new set of tires. So that's kind of what dictated my strategy. If there was a long run, of course you could go in for tires. The only thing, you didn't want to get offset with tires too bad from guys behind you, like some of the leaders did a couple times in a race. So I did not want to do that. I just wanted to make sure I stayed on good enough tires where I could make passes. So that was about plus 10 laps on people on tires. So that's kind of all my thinking was tonight. And just keeping it off of people. So a couple of the wrecks I avoided was just knowing how they're going to spin. You kind of guess it sometimes. And then try not to put the car in tailbar spots most of the time when they're trying to make a pass, because it's really tough here to make a pass. It's almost guaranteed contact when you try to make a pass on someone here.
Yeah, you're working on a track that basically has a lane and a half. I mean, it's not even 2 lanes here at Darlington for the most part in the corners. You got to lean on the driver that's next to you. So it seems like your strategy worked out. Didn't have quite enough to pull off that win, but a strong P2 finish here for you, Mr. Steven. The floor is yours to give out any thanks, any shout outs that maybe anybody that's watching or helped you get the job done.
Of course, SK for putting off on this league. It is definitely a fun league to race in. I'll give a shout out to Nick, because that restart was what got him it. I wasn't expecting it. He did everything by the textbook. So it's a good win to Nick. Justin, hard fought racer for this third. I give you a lot of credit for that. That was a good finish. Otherwise, nothing else. Good race to everyone who raced, and thanks for anyone who was watching.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, that is Matt Stephen able to round out the field in P2 just short by a second to our leader, Nick Pressey. So now we're going to come to the other side of the podium. We're going to come to P3, a driver that had an extremely eventful race from all over the field was Justin Poole. Justin, if you haven't cracked open a beer yet, I think you earned one. Somehow you worked it out to the podium here. You rear-ended a couple cars. You got rear-ended by a couple cars. You're sideways all over the place, but here you are, P3. Tell us how you got it done.
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle to make it throughout the race. I would like to apologize for Rob for punting him about 20 laps earlier. But other than that, I felt any other contacts that I had were all racing incidents. I'm sure I could have done things differently to avoid them, but we got around it. We finished the race, and all good.
So as the caution started to bleed out like a bad episode of 13 Reasons Why, at what point did you realize, okay, I need to change up my strategy when it comes to tires? Because from what I'm gathering, a lot of you guys were planning for a longer run, and now you weren't getting those longer runs. Did that change up your strategy at all for this race?
To be honest, coming in, I didn't really have a ton of strategy. But it was more just riding the car out in the end. I really wasn't trying to push it super hard. That way I wasn't wearing out the right rear too bad and getting loose. But other than that, it was just come in when the people in front of me went, and we were able to hang on.
Hang on would be an understatement. Surviving, I think it would be the word for your race.
Able to survive.
A beautiful race car as well. Fortunately, I was able to see the Jeff Gordon throwback scheme, and of course that fits that number 24 so well, the Rainbow Warrior. Give us some shout outs. Anybody that's watching, anybody that maybe helped you with setups or whatever it may be, the floor is yours, Mr. Poole.
Again, Terry, thank you for the setup. Got me here in third place on the podium. Obviously, Steven for holding the league as well. And then Rob for binning it on the second to last lap and giving me a podium spot. Thank you very much.
All right, Justin, and we have to ask you here if there's anything you could have done different in this race, what would have been done? And I'd like to ask that to the drivers that finished well, but maybe didn't have the best race because for a while you were a pinball there. What could have you have changed to make this race a little bit better for yourself? Is anything on top of your mind?
Given more space where I could, and again trying not to push the car outside of where it can function reliably.
I think that's basically the story of Darlington. I think everybody ends up doing that here at the egg-shaped, too tough to tame Lady in Black. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is third position in finishing of Justin Poole. Justin Poole finishing about 2 seconds back from our leader here at Darlington Raceway. Justin, again, congratulations on your third place finish.
Thank you again.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up here for myself, Wes Rowdy Hogue, a.k.a. Cole Bohannon. You can find me, of course, on the independent wrestling scene here in the state of Florida. And I'm going to cut it over here to Mr. Strictly 94, Paul Strickland, Oz himself, the man behind the curtain, or just the man that's waiting in line for a hot dog. Paul, take it away.
Man, oh man, dude, we got like 3 hot dogs. You want a hot dog too, right? Chili, little mustard.
Hey, we already said it earlier, brother. Corn dogs and 8 balls, 10-4.
Corn dogs and 8 balls here at the broadcast booth here at TV. Another phenomenal race here with the Nexus Sim Racing Motor City Legends here. The 94 car of Nicholas Pressey coming home with the victory. Nicholas Pressey came home third in points. 1, 2, maybe a couple, double-digit points battle there. Rob Collier coming in the points leader. He's going to finish a little bit further on back in the pack here. Matthew Stephen finishing second. How about that? May take over the points lead. We'll get all that information over on the Verdane TV Facebook page. We'll get all the points, all the penalties, all the action over on the Facebook page. If you're not following our Facebook page, you're not going to be able to keep up with these leagues that we broadcast. And how about the energy? How about the thunder? How about the lightning that the Nexus Sim Racing League brought us with the Motor City Legends here tonight? Nicholas Presley coming home with the win in the 94 car. How about that? Matthew Stephen finishing second. Justin Poole coming home in third with that podium finish in that 24 throwback car. We're going to get the paint scheme sorted out here with the Nexus Sim Racing Motor City Legends. I guarantee you that. I already got a direct line to Steve with trading paints. We're going to get it sorted out. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. We're going to get it sorted out. We'll get it figured out. We'll get these custom iRacing paint schemes. What? Custom. What? Custom iRacing paint schemes out there, so you know exactly who is supporting these Nexus Sim Racing Motor City Legends race car drivers. And that is 100% what they are. We're entertaining the masses here at Vidane TV. Thank you so much for tuning in here live on the Facebook, on the Twitch, Strictly 94, on the YouTube, Vidane TV. Do a quick Google search if you haven't heard from us recently. We're doing big things. We're doing massive things. We're entertaining the masses, and we are booking dates throughout the fall and the winter months of 2022, 2023. If you are on iRacing, you've got yourself an iRacing league. You want to get yourself backing by some of the biggest iRacing supporters, some of the biggest supporters of sim racing, some of the biggest supporters of racing as a whole, like doorstopnation.com. You need to slide in our DMs. Vidane Racing, Vidane TV. We're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're all over the place. Vidane.net, get yourself one of those Vidane TV hooded sweatshirts. We are sliding in, folks, into Big Fella Fall. It's going to get cold. You're going to need yourself a hooded sweatshirt. You're going to need yourself a second hooded sweatshirt to keep your lady friend nice and warm. And what better way to do that than with a Vidane TV logo right across the front of that sweatshirt. But phenomenal night here at Darlington Raceway, Nexus Sim Racing. They brought us the Motor City Legends here at Darlington. Nicholas Presley, the 94 car. He comes home with the victory. Matthew Stephen comes home in second. Justin Poole, the 24 car, a little throwback Jeff Gordon action. He comes home in third. Talk to all top three drivers. It's been phenomenal. Labor Day weekend. Man, oh man, I'm out of breath, Wes. Man, we're coming back. We're coming back Monday night. The Liberty Racing Series, the Liberty Racing League, brother. Talk to us, man. What is going down here on Vidane TV on Monday night, man? Tell us.
Monday night, Liberty Racing League fires off with our throwback series. I'm thankfully a founder of Liberty Racing League who is kind of a sister to Vidane Racing. Name sounds kind of familiar, ain't it? We are running everything from these Legends cars you've seen today. We actually start up our season with the Legends cars at Talladega for 80 laps. We run ARCA cars. We run street stocks at all various tracks. Free entry, cash prizes, and of course, broadcasted by the one and only Vidane TV. So registration's still open for those that know what the hell they're doing. Feel free to sign up. And I say that because 1987 cars are a bit tougher to drive, as you saw here tonight in this feed. And but they are so much fun to drive and watch. So if you're not going to be participating in the league, be sure you tune in here Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern to watch Liberty Racing League at Talladega in these exact legend cars for 80 laps. So, Paul, I think it's time we wrap it up here, son.
100% Monday night Liberty Racing League kicking it off here on Vidane TV where they belong. Tim's Corner Motorsports coming at us Thursday night. A little late model 100 miler. Hey, if you're a late model driver, you want to get in on that race, listen, the winner gets an invitation to the TCM, the Tim's Corner Motorsports, the third inaugural Tim's Corner Motorsports 300 right here live on Verdane TV. Going to be sometime late December, right around the Christmas time. That's how we do our holidays around here at Verdane TV. Do not want to miss that. Going to be an action-packed show. Definitely check out Tim's Corner Motorsports over on Facebook. Definitely check out the Liberty Racing League. Wes, you guys are still looking for drivers, I assume, at this point, correct?
Yeah, for sure. The door is always open. Liberty Racing League on iRacing, Liberty Racing League on Facebook, the whole 9 yards. We're always here. We're always ready to rock and roll and have some fun. Always bringing in new talent. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go here, Paul. I think we saw a wonderful race here tonight, and I think it's time that to wrap it up and get ready for Monday.
Picking them up, putting them down. We are going to polish off ourselves some ice cold, refreshing adult beverages. And here at Verdane TV, we always remind you to drink responsibly. Phenomenal race here for the NEXUS Sim Racing Motor City Legends here at Darlington Raceway. Nicholas Presley coming home with the victory in that 94 car. Matthew Stephen, Justin Poole coming home with the podium finishes. We talked to all those drivers. Tyler Bramble finishing in the 4th position. Andrew Tenold rounding out the top 5. Ryan Hatch, Rob Collier in the 02 car. Robert Gast, Tex Linder, and Terry Freer rounding out the top 10. And there you see it on your screen. Stephen Downton, D.L. Lemon, Derek Miller, Shane Calhoun, and a couple of other drivers. I wasn't actually there because I was in the broadcast booth. Brian Messer in the 54 car. He was at the track. Doesn't look like he took the start. But hey, phenomenal race. Great race. Entertaining race. We entertained the masses here at Verdane TV at Darlington Raceway. Let us know your feedback. Styling and profiling. We're on Twitch, Strictly94. We're on YouTube, Verdane TV. We're on Facebook, Verdane TV. And we're all around the Discord world. Let us know your feedback. Other than the trading paints issues, we know we got to get these paint schemes, these custom iRacing paint schemes straightened out for these NEXUS Sim Racing guys here in the Motor City Legends Network. Got to get that taken care of. We will, in fact, get that taken care of the next time the NEXUS Sim Racing sees us here live on Verdane TV in 2 weeks' time. Friday night, where we say let's go racing again. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the Verdane TV broadcast production trailer alongside myself, my brother, from another mother, and another father, Rowdy Wesley Hogue. We will catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we will be doing it live when we say let's go racing. One more again, here, live at Verdane TV.